All right, let's do it. 3 hours of sad boy radio on deck. The Titans lose. They get shut out. The first time they've been shut out since that dreadful 2019 Denver Broncos game, except this one was worse. The Houston Texans, a bad football team, a stinky, stinky football team, a terrible, terrible offense, blanked you 26-0 last night. No, I guess not last night. Yesterday afternoon at NRG Stadium, and the head coach is still employed today. In fact, he even has a press conference at 1:30 this afternoon. Good morning, boys.
Is it?
Sure. I woke up. The sun is shining. Had a lovely trip to Houston. Went to NASA. Ate some delightful Tex-Mex. And then watched a stinky football game. It's like my every Sunday for the last 3 years for me. So, yeah, it's just fine.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, it was awful.
That one, yeah, when you talk about rock bottom kind of feelings, that was a rock bottom feeling. One of those mornings where you come in and you want to have the mindset of it can always get worse, because it can. Mm-hmm. You can always lose more and buy more points, literally always. But it's easy to come in this morning feeling like it's hard for it to get worse than what it was, because it wasn't like they were putting the ball on the ground or being penalized.
Yeah.
That's almost what makes it worse. The fact that, no, they were just straight up beat that way.
By a garbage football team. The Texans are bad. They are bad.
It's a good defense. It's a bad offense.
Oh, my God, that offense, though.
Yeah.
That offense is terrible. And the Titans' pass rush even got there. Like, they
twice.
did the thing that they don't do. They got sacks yesterday.
That Jeff sack was insane.
C.J. Stroud malfunctions at every given turn, it seems. He had Dalton Schultz wide open for a touchdown, just airmailed it.
Yeah. He only had a few misses, though. Numbers ended up being pretty good. 22 of 28. But, yeah, it's a disjointed Texans. What a weird football team, the Houston Texans. Because that defense probably is going to pay for the sins of its offense at some point down the line, like we've seen with Titans defenses in the past. Yeah. But that defense legitimately has potential to be like a top 5 defense in the NFL. And the offense is just going to drag them down. It's a weird dichotomy that the Houston Texans are, but didn't matter yesterday.
No, and to Lucas's point, the thing that stood out the most is that they were just soundly beat. It's not the thing that they didn't beat themselves yesterday. Cam Ward was sacked, the season low, twice, and there was one that was negated. But still, only sacked twice in a game. They only took 4 penalties, again, the season low, so it wasn't all the bad things that you do, the dumb bleep that hurts the team type of situation.
Just the one turnover?
Yeah. They just got their asses whipped by a team that is no good. No good whatsoever. And Brian Callahan has no answers again. He still has a job, but Lucas, I'm convinced that he's just a meat shield for the people that don't want to answer questions about how wrong they were for putting him in this position in the first place.
Yeah, you always try to find precedent in the NFL, and there's not much precedent for a head coach that's faced what he's faced in terms of the record, the context of the record, and so on, that has bounced back from that, right, and righted the ship and turned it around. You'd be hard-pressed to find an example of that. We use that Bengals Zach Taylor example all the time. They were showing a pulse. They were in games. They were scoring points. They had promise with a rookie quarterback in that second year under Zach Taylor, and they even started to string together a couple wins before Joe Burrow went down. So, yeah, it's hard to picture a way forward for Brian Callahan after 26-0. It's often being compared to that Broncos game, 16-0, the last shutout loss for the Titans in 2019. But even then, that performance back in October 2019, Titans had 204 net yards. Yesterday, Titans had 175 net yards. Titans got into the red zone in that game in Denver. We're 0 for 2. Titans didn't get inside the 20 yesterday in Houston.
Well, it's because Tannehill came in and gave them a spark. They had offense in the second half of that game. Mariota was benched, and that was a turning point. That was a turning point.
Yeah, they had an ace in the hole.
That bailed the franchise out from having the hard reset because Mariota failed. They were prepared for that moment. And that moment was particularly awful, and it, again, was one of the worst football games that I've watched. But until yesterday, it was the worst football game that I've watched. Yesterday was terrible.
Some of the worst starts in, let's just say, recent Titans history. 2-4, they had Tannehill. 0-6 back in 2009, the last time the Titans were 0-4 to start a season. What'd they have? Vince Young, who comes in and they win 6 in a row, and they were that close to making that, finished 8-8, almost made the playoffs. You don't have that. Your ace in the hole is out there. He's been out there since the first snap in week 1.
615-737-1045 is the number. What do you make of the Titans not firing Brian Callahan? Again, his press conference is later today, but that's only because it was a road game that they played yesterday, so they pushed it back to 1:30. Typically, he speaks at noon. Blaine and Zach will carry that press conference. I will be at that press conference. He was defensive at his press conference last night. Robert, let's hear the defensive exchange with Paul Kaharski, where the head coach set himself up again for this situation. But I'm not even mad at Brian Callahan today, and I'll explain that more later. Let's hear from him first.
Do you think this is a resilient and relentless football team?
I know what you're doing there, Paul. I know what you're doing, and I'm not going to answer that right now.
Well, I mean, those are the themes that you've tried to catch.
Yeah,
This football team, you're 20-some games in.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm going to just compose myself here before I say something I regret. But, yes, I think this team is resilient. I think it is relentless. We haven't played good enough football, and I think those are two very distinct, different things. We have to execute at a better level. We have to coach better. That's really all I can say.
Last one.
Oh, good. Play better, coach better. Poor Everett Gearlings, by the way, the new head of PR for the Titans, who replaced the institution that was Robbie Boren, just fighting for his life out here.
Last one.
Yeah, last one, bud.
I mean, to be fair, on the play better, coach better, there does come a point where there really is nothing left to say.
Oh, no,
right?
but, like, don't give me I know what you're trying to do there. My brother in Christ, you're the one who's saying that this football team that is neither resilient nor relentless is resilient or relentless. So the natural follow-up is, well, are you sure? What is unfair? And I get it's emotional. Like, he's got his ass kicked week after week after week. It's 10 straight dating back to last year that they've lost. I get it. He's in a bad spot, and it's not all his fault. It's his owner's fault. And we can expand upon that more throughout the course of the show, because at some point we're going to turn our attention to the people who are running this sham of a football team.
How about this? Robert was just in my ear asking me about maybe playing the breaking news sounder on this. I don't know about that in a tense time in Titanland.
Not.
So the Houston Texans are trading offensive tackle Cam Robinson to the Browns. He was inactive yesterday. He's going to Cleveland. Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport reporting it. And it is just a pick swap. So similar to the Brownlee trade, but they're sending the veteran tackle to the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
After he did not play against the Titans yesterday.
Yeah, let's maybe hold off on the breaking news sounder unless there is relevant breaking news sound for us today, which I do not anticipate, because he's an easy target and the rest of them don't want to have to answer questions about why they got this so terribly, terribly wrong. Speaking of terribly, terribly wrong, the head coach now is 3-18 running this football franchise. Now, he is not running the franchise. Amy Adams Strunk owns the franchise. She has empowered two different versions of a team president to run the business and the football. Chad Brinker is football. Burke Nihill is business. And neither of those individuals has covered themselves in glory based on how this has gone as well. And again, we have 3 hours to expand upon these things, but I do think it is also important to hear from somebody who was pivotal in the process to hiring Brian Callahan, and that is the aforementioned business president, Burke Nihill. Can I hear from the Ramon, Kayla, and Will interview from what is this, 2 years ago? This is Callahan's first year, so this was the first training camp of Brian Callahan, where Burke Nihill, team president, sat down with the morning show and gave an interview specific to the hiring process. Let me hear from Burke Nihill, Robert, please.
It feels really, really good in the Tennessee Titans practice facility these days. There is definitely a freshness, but Brian Callahan, you can do all your research on somebody, you can get references, you can do hours and hours of interviews with someone, but you don't really know completely what you have until someone gets in the building. I mean, I think that's true of a marketing position, it's true of an accounting position, but when you're talking about a head coach, it's really, really important that you have a really good recruiting process and you make a wise decision. Since Brian got here, we thought that we got this right. We crushed it. Brian Callahan is the real deal. He sets a tone as a leader. He's as smart as they come. He is, low ego, high impact. And so I think the future is bright. I think the present's bright too, but I think the future is especially bright given this aligned approach to the football organization with a head coach like Brian Callahan.
Well, Burke, your quarterback.
That's enough of that. That's worse than I remember. Oh, my God.
My favorite part of that clip was Kirby laughing in the background.
I was about to say, I was just trying to listen to hear what Kirby was talking about.
Oh, no. We crushed it. It's crazy. 3-18. This is the thing, though. Like, it's hard for me to just pin all this on Brian Callahan. He's going to be the next fall guy. He's going to be the next head, professional head that rolls here. But there are bad decisions being made all over the place. All over the place.
And that was part of an offseason where it was across the board, right? Where we talked about Rand Carthon checking all the boxes. Like, that was just a small piece of a larger conversation discourse throughout the offseason from the organization that they have dialed back significantly this year in terms of measuring those expectations.
I honestly, I had not heard that clip in quite some time. I think we played it at some point last year when they were cratering, but I didn't remember the exact phrasing of it. But we crushed it. That hits so much harder 2 years removed from that circumstance than it did at the time for obvious reasons. 615-737-1045. Robert also has something very special cooked up for you because we have not yet gotten to the quarterback's thoughts on things, and the quarterback had very loud thoughts about things yesterday. We will, I have decided that we will do no bump back music other than what you have prepared today. Is that okay with you?
Oh, no. Come on.
Why?
We can't.
Why?
No, we don't need to hammer it into the ground.
Need to
like that.
exposure
What
therapy.
else am I going to do today?
He is incapable of being measured in any way, Robert. In every facet of life, everything has to be
I'm
hammered into
sorry.
the
Should I
ground.
be measured today? Is today really the day that you want me to be measured? Go ahead.
We don't
Too
have to
much
bump
of a-
back with it every break.
Yeah, too much of a good thing is definitely not a good thing.
Yeah, people will get sick of it by the end of the
I
show.
want it once an hour then. Can I have it
Once an hour is fair.
Okay.
All
Deal.
right. Find out next. If you're not feeling the sizzle with your current financial advisor, you need to call Trajan Wealth today because there are so many different things that can impact your financial independence or lack thereof. And that's the thing that we're all seeking. You understand how crippling it can be to not be able to trust your financial situation. Occurrences like inflation, changing economic policies, new laws, and interest rates can affect the financial markets in the short term, but it doesn't make sense to keep changing the way that you invest in response to the daily news. Instead, Trajan Wealth will help you review your strategy and make sure that it's right for your goals, your level of risk tolerance, and your time horizon. Trajan Wealth is there to help you decide what to do. So you can visit them at 2 locations, Brentwood and Franklin. You can call them at 615-270-5000. That's 615-270-5000, or visit them online at TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor. This is a paid advertisement. It's so good. For the F&M Bank chat on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch that did not get an opportunity to hear the fine work that Robert Walsh was doing this morning, you can, well, I don't know. How can they listen to that after the fact? Is it exclusively for the FM audience?
Yeah, they'll never be able to hear it.
Okay, that's fine.
Ever.
I can live with that. It makes me very happy. If you did not hear what it was that we just played, that is Cam Ward describing his play and his team as ass, set to, is it just the Big Sean song called Ass?
I think it's called Ass.
It's just called Ass?
Is that what it's actually called?
I think it's just called Ass. How many times can we say ass into the microphone?
Ass.
It's called Dance.
Dance.
Yes,
okay.
yes. Much more appropriate.
But in parentheses. It's one of those song titles that has parentheses.
Ass.
But it's A with the $2 signs.
Classy.
That's how we get
Keeping
away
it
with
classy.
Okay. Makes me very
Emphasis on assy.
615-737-1045 is the number. You will hear more from the aforementioned Cam Ward here in just a second. We will take your phone calls first. Let's start with Gil, who's in California.
Hey, Buck, how y'all guys doing out there?
Good.
Yeah, my thing is like, this team is just so messed up right now. I mean, I'm taking it from the front office. I mean, it's like we're in a transition of so many offensive coordinators, coaches, GMs, that the team just has no identity. And it's like Callahan, my thing was I didn't care what our record was. I just wanted to see Cam Ward get better, and he's gotten worse, just like all the other quarterbacks he coaches, and that's Will Levis and Mason Rudolph. So my question to you is, but if we did switch coaches or fired the coach, who would be the next coach? Do you bring in somebody from the outside who would start everything all the way over and change something middle season, or would you pick somebody on the coaching staff because they will be basically coaching his same style of offense? And I haven't seen him beat a defensive coordinator out yet in weeks, not even Denard Wilson he couldn't beat out. So I don't see this system changing under these coaches, and if we brought somebody else in, it wouldn't work. So I'm just willing to ride it out and just try to get the first pick and clean house.
Yeah, Gil, I guess you mean specifically like in season, if they were to fire Callahan in season?
Yeah, like who would we pick?
I got you.
Like who would, like they couldn't change the whole system.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't hire somebody in the middle of the season. They would promote an interim and then ride that out, and then the next guy that they hire would bring in his own staff. I appreciate the call, though.
Yeah, and the assumption would probably be that Bill Hardigree would just retain play calling in that scenario.
I don't know, after yesterday. I mean, the flea flicker thing with this offensive line situation, and then the what did they try to run, the toss play?
Yeah, with DK trying to get DK to throw it, and there's nothing there. He had to run out of bounds for a loss. But yeah, people were jumping on him for the flea flicker, but he was trying something. I don't know. I mean, at that point, Titans were moving the ball. It felt like a moment where
Those two plays killed those respective drives. Like they had momentum and then they nuked themselves.
Yeah, I guess trying to do too much because Pollard was working. He had 8 carries for 51 yards in the first half. But in the moment, I thought he's trying something. And you would like your left tackle to hold up a little bit better there, even if he's going against, a high-end pass rusher like Danielle Hunter. And that's what blew up that play. Danielle Hunter just dummied Dan Moore Jr.
And they're good. Like, Houston is good on defense.
Yes.
But I'm also tired of hearing, and, Dan Moore took offense to, not in the postgame locker room yesterday, but in the locker room availability leading up to the Houston game, the idea of excuses being made for them that they've played a couple of really good defensive fronts. Like he kind of, snarled up his nose a little bit and said, excuses. And because he's a professional football player. He's got pride. He's paid $82 million. And I know that's the sum of his contract, and that's not actually what Dan Moore is being paid, but you get my point. Like, the players don't want excuses being made for them. They expect to go out there to compete and perform. Dan Moore played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, this is not some bum that you could just shrug your shoulders and say, Oliudo, UDFA, he's up against it. What can we do? No, this is a professional athlete that's got pride, that is sick yesterday and is playing through illness to his credit. Did so to his credit, even though he was ruled questionable right before kickoff, dealing with an illness. And it seems that the coaching staff makes more excuses for the players than the players are interested in having made for them. It's a culture of losing.
The one excuse for them not coming away with any points yesterday is the missed roughing the passer call on Azeez Al-Shaair.
Oh, my God.
Just clubbing Cam Ward across the helmet.
That was disgusting.
That would have bare minimum made it a chip shot for Joey Sly. Who,
If Jeff Simmons did that, he would have been sent to the gulag.
yeah.
They would have reopened Alcatraz and shipped Big Jeff off.
It's not like Al-Shaair doesn't have a history of stuff like that, especially recently.
Dude, and he's done that. I feel like every week this season,
Yeah.
he has had a play like that. Like the suspension last year was about a much ado about nothing, and he acted like it was an attack on his character. But that is the kind of player he is. Not to sidetrack us from the Titans conversation.
He wasn't that here, though.
Yeah, that is what's fascinating about it. Like here, I felt like he was just a good leader, right?
Yeah.
Just a good player.
Oh my God, he was somebody we went to in the locker room every time because he could speak on the struggles, and he was nuanced and reasonable.
Was always measured.
He was not heavily penalized here.
I was surprised at the turn it's taken in Houston of him having this reputation now of a guy who just has cheap shots at quarterbacks. But that was, man, just two hands clubbing Ward over the head. I don't know how they missed that, but end of the day, that is the difference between 26-0 and 26-3, right? Assuming Joey Sly chips in what could have been like a 26, 27-yard field goal. That's the thing. There were so many microcosms of the Titans season yesterday because when they do stack some good things, their two most productive drives, and, take it with a grain of salt, they didn't get into the red zone at any point yesterday, but their two most productive drives at bare minimum set up two 41 and 43-yard field goals for Joey Sly. So when you look at it, if he makes those field goals, it's 6-6 going into the fourth quarter. And the Texans still outscored the Titans 21-0 in the fourth, and the Titans have been dreadful in the fourth quarter all season. I'm not saying it's a difference between winning and losing, but it's just the point of the Titans this year, even when they do stack one good thing on top of the other, that last thing just isn't going to fall. Like Joey Sly missing a 41-yard kick after routinely drilling 57-yarders like it's nothing all season. He had made 10 straight kicks of inside 60 yards going back to last year. Last year with the Patriots, he missed 2 kicks all season in the range of 40 to 49. He was 5 of 7, and he misses 2 in that range in the early 40s, low 40s, just yesterday alone. It's just kind of summed up what the season has been for the Titans, that even when something does happen, something that seems like it's giving them some sort of windfall of momentum, they're just not going to be able to tack on that last little bit or cross the finish line in any way.
So we did not have this reaction in the press box when that non-call happened. The penalty, what should have been a penalty against Azeez Al-Shaair that was just blatantly missed by the officials. But I heard this was pointed out. I didn't get a chance to hear Titans talk back. I was on the flight back from Houston last night. But I did hear that they brought it up, and then I see it again being brought up in the chat, and I wonder if the two of you, Robert, I don't know if you were watching this game live yesterday, but I wonder if you, Lucas, had this same feeling where Cam Ward gets hit in the face. Like Azeez Al-Shaair just uses both hands and pushes him in the face.
Yeah.
Like it is the definition of roughing the passer. You can rough the passer outside the pocket. Like I looked up the rule book. I'm sitting there, everything by definition, just a missed call. But that there was nobody that necessarily rushed to the defense of Cam Ward from his own team, I suppose, was something that was brought up on Titans Talk back last night, the chat. The F&M Bank chat, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch is bringing up, because I can see on the sideline from my vantage point in the Houston press box, Jeff Simmons screaming and yelling and pointing at Azeez Al-Shaair. That's a penalty. That's a penalty. But that to me, I don't want to read too much into it. And we didn't necessarily ask these questions because, again, I didn't see all of this dialogue about the non-call until after the fact. But is there anything to be made of the idea that in a moment where your rookie quarterback is just being bludgeoned that way and not being protected by the officials in a way that he is supposed to be protected by officials, that you didn't necessarily have a bench-clearing situation to defend your rookie quarterback as a team? I don't know whether that's something to be made of, that there is something there to be made of or not. I don't want to read too much into it if it's overblown.
Yeah, I'm rewatching the play on like the extended highlights, but I'm not getting enough of a camera shot. All I see is Cam being helped up by one of his linemen to see what kind of reaction there was from the guys on the field. I mean, at that point, though, it's a 3rd and 5 on the Texans' 24. So that easily should have gotten them into the red zone and at least in better scoring position. But again, it wouldn't have had any impact on the final result of the game.
Well, and I see this being brought up by, it says Blue Flame Meditation. I assume that's some kind of pun on whatever the Titans situation is right now, or maybe not. I'm not sure. But he points out something that I know because I've covered this player, and I saw this happen many times. Taylor Lewan would have gotten a 15-yard penalty running out there on the field to defend Marcus Mariota after that hit. You remember Richard Sherman getting after Marcus a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
And Lewan just losing his ever-loving mind. And that's the job, as the blindside protector of the quarterback. Even if you do get a penalty in that situation, like some penalties I am willing to forgive if it is in the defense of your player. But I just, again, I don't want to make this an indictment of the players too. I just feel that they're a bit broken. I don't think it's like they don't like Cam Ward or something like that. I just think that they don't. Again, the thing that Callahan got defensive about last night was he keeps talking about, I know this team is resilient and relentless. That would be an indication that they are neither resilient nor relentless when you have a situation that takes place basically in front of their bench. I mean, that is on the Titans sideline that happens. And you don't see a situation where you would expect football players who are prideful and rage-filled to come to the defense of the rookie quarterback who's just out there drowning. Lucas, he's getting worse.
Yeah, he sounds frustrated too, and for good reason. Can we hear from Cam Ward? We've heard the edited version of Cam Ward over Big Sean, but can we hear the Cam Ward quote from after the game?
Keeping the buck right now, we ass. So we 0-4. We have, at this point, we got nothing to lose. We dropped a quarter of our games, and we've yet to do anything. So we have to lock in, especially myself on the offensive line, from the defensive line, from the special teams to all three faces. We have to play together. We have not played together this year yet. And that's just something that, we want to preach about it every day. Every day we got to do better. And we're doing that, but it has to show up on Sundays. It hasn't showed up yet, but it got to show up next week.
It's hard not to feel bad for him.
This is new territory for Cam Ward.
And he was asked a question, I think by Tehran last night, is this the hardest thing that you've had to go through? And he said, well, he kind of cited his experience as a high school player, not receiving any recruiting offers from any kind of programs. He was a zero-star recruit, like the whole story, right? By the way, did that Tubi thing ever come out? That thing I was bitching and moaning about, that 7-part Cam Ward documentary, did that ever come out?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so, because the football season started and they were set to debut it in September. Did that ever debut?
I don't know.
Okay.
It was supposed to premiere in September.
Weird. But to the thing about Cam, like he said, this is not, he said he wouldn't say that it's the hardest thing that he's gone through as a football player, citing his experience that got him to this point. But this organization is drowning him. And that's the thing that they cannot afford to do. They cannot ruin him. And he's getting progressively worse as a player. He's pressing. He has no choice. He has no help. He has no support. And I'm sure that I'm going to get some text messages saying that Cam Ward has no support from people in the organization pushing back against that, because I know that they are aware that Cam Ward is the most important thing going for the future of the franchise, but they're failing. They're failing miserably. There is nothing defensible about what the Tennessee Titans as an organization, from ownership to team presidents to general managers to coaches and personnel on down. They are failing soundly across the board, and they are dragging that poor quarterback down with them.
Well, he is the thing. Like, he is the light of optimism for Titans fans, right? He is optimism personified for Titans fans. Cameron Ward is. But this is dangerous territory that the Titans are in right now, because we've seen it too many times across the NFL. Joe Burrow surviving that early onslaught of taking those hits and being in a bad situation on a bad football team, and then blossoming and carrying the team the way that he did in 2021 all the way to the Super Bowl, which was obviously much improved at that point, though the offensive line wasn't. That was the outlier. Like, we've seen so many more examples of talented, promising young players have the way that they play be affected by what they're surrounded by early in their career. So it is right to be concerned about it. They're 0-4, and they didn't show a pulse on offense yesterday. There's nothing but concern at the moment. So what can they do to preserve Cam Ward as that shining light of optimism and somehow within this mess of a season continue his development. Like that, I don't know how you walk that line this season with what he is or isn't surrounded by at the moment.
You remember what Fitzy came on here and said a couple of weeks ago? If you find somebody that speaks Cam Ward better than Brian Callahan, then Brian Callahan is worthless to me. That was the line from Jason Fitz. Well, if Cam Ward is not progressing, and in fact, he is getting more entrenched in bad habits because he is pressing out of necessity, that's the thing that got Wisenhunt fired around Mariota. Brian Callahan's going to give a press conference today. He's not fired as of this morning, but that's the surest way to see him gone in season. And it doesn't fix their problems. Like it's just red meat to the base type of thing. Like, oh, you want something? Here, take this piece of Brian Callahan flank steak and leave us alone for a couple of hours until the next game that they play and they lose again because they're just god awful. 615-737-1045. Sorry. Do you have something?
No, I was just trying to, I'm looking at the third down and distances. I've been doing this every game where I'm just, by the way, apparently somebody just tweeted us, Justin Graver, Titans Film Room on Twitter, had an update on the Tubi documentary that he tweeted a few days ago saying, quote, according to Tubi, due to a change in production schedule, Zero Star, the Cam Ward story, will now debut later this year. So they pushed the premiere of Cam Ward's mini little docu-series on Tubi.
Dang.
You had alerts for that?
I wanted to check it out. Well, I was going to call Firebrand Media and try to get a quote, but someone already scooped us to it, so that stinks.
Oh, were you? You were going to do some investigative journalism
I've already
back
called
there?
them twice, and they have left him a message.
Yeah,
so.
I saw Bert go, darn.
Dadgummit.
Beat me to it.
I just wanted to get something to pop.
What do you think the Titans averaged on third down yesterday in terms of down and distance? The distance on third down. They were 2 of 11 on third down.
He was only sacked twice, and they weren't heavily penalized. Did they have a false start in that game? I don't think they did.
Not off the top of my head.
I don't recall a false start.
There was an illegal substitution somewhere along the way.
There was.
But
so let me just say, I'll say better than their average. So like 3rd and 6,
8.4.
Oh, okay.
So they were yesterday 3rd and 5, 7, 14, 6, 6, which they converted, 10, 12, 9, which they converted, a Cam Ward scramble, 13, 2, and 8. An average of 8.4. And that's the thing. I'm racking my brain thinking back, like, Tony Pollard ran the ball well in the first half. They weren't heavily penalized. They weren't giving up sacks left and right.
How'd they keep losing yardage?
Yet still, they just continuously behind the sticks.
Well, he had like at one point 41 yards on that first drive, Cam Ward did, and then he had like 42 yards the rest of the game or something.
Yeah, 33 yards on that completion to Ioman, or early, a second completion of the game. Longest pass play they've had this season.
God. All right, to the phones. Chris is in Nashville.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. So there's a glaring problem that I noticed when I watched the game. Cam cannot drop a ball like over the first level of defense. He was throwing these lasers out there, but as far as dropping a ball where it needs to go, like that's a throw that NFL quarterbacks have to be able to make. And I didn't see him do that once in the entire game. Like, so all the defense has to do is get between him and the receiver, and they've got him, locked down. What do you guys think?
So without having, and I can ask Cosell about that more specifically, like what he's seeing from Cam, and thank you for the call. It's also worth asking Nate Washington about that when he joins us on Thursday, because Nate has brought up the idea that Cam doesn't throw much over the middle, and that they're having him work outside the numbers, and the degree of difficulty for a rookie quarterback is greater there. So what Chris is saying, and in a less scientific way, does he struggle layering passes, layering throws to where you see an opportunity with zone coverage, but you got to throw it in a spot where you feather it in there, as opposed to just ripping it through somebody's chest the way that he has a tendency to do. Now, that doesn't mean that he can't develop that as a skill over time, but I don't have a good answer for you, Chris, because I'm, again, an untrained eye. But that's something worth bringing up to Cosell on Thursday morning, and then when Nate Washington joins us on Thursday afternoon, I'll make a note of that, and then you guys can revisit that on the install and then with Nate on Thursday.
It was his lowest individual performance yesterday, no question.
He was not good.
Yeah, 10 of 26, 108 yards, just the one interception, and just some clear misses, and sacked just twice.
All right. We can take more phone calls coming up next. 615-737-1045 is how you get involved. I had interim coach Hotboard on the grid today, but why don't we talk about L'Jarius Sneed coming up next? The only thing worse than bad football is an unexpected emergency at your home with your HVAC unit, with your plumbing, with your electrical system. Nobody wants to deal with that. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost or if it'll get fixed correctly or if somebody's just trying to sell you something. You want to avoid those type of situations. When you call Hiller, their experts are going to solve your problems quickly. The price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. There's no hidden fees or surprises on your bill. HappyHiller.com is where you go. That's HappyHiller.com, and they'll give you that 100% satisfaction guarantee of happy you'll be, or the service is free. That's Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. HappyHiller.com for more details. Erectile dysfunction can wreck your confidence. It can impact your relationship, your mental health, and even your sense of identity. But there's good news. There's real help. Since 2014, the Tennessee Men's Clinic has helped thousands of guys get back to feeling like themselves. These aren't cookie-cutter treatments that are on offer. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is urology-based and staffed with multiple licensed providers who specialize in men's sexual health. They use proven treatments tailored to your specific situation. No one size fits all. Whether you're dealing with mild or moderate ED, performance issues, or even conditions like Peyronie's disease, their medical team will work with you to create a plan that gets results, often with options most guys didn't even know were out there. Too many dudes rely on pills that don't work or come with nasty side effects. There are better treatments. Sometimes it's a combination of those treatments that finally unlock the results that you've been missing. So call now at 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090 or book easily online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. You think L'Jarius Sneed knows the name of Nico Collins now? I've never seen a team be in a 1st and 30 that got converted, but that was the case yesterday for the Titans. I know it wasn't the 1st and 30 that was converted, but still. Different tune by L'Jarius Sneed in the locker room after the fact. His pushback was that the only play that you saw?
It was 2nd and 33 on their own 18 for the Texans. 37-yard completion down the left sideline to Nico Collins.
I would like to thank L'Jarius Sneed for contributing to the success of Team Auto Draft in our our victory over Paul Kaharski's fantasy football team yesterday. I had Nico Collins on my roster. Kaharski had Kaimi Fairbairn. Victory for Team Auto Draft.
Are you still losing, though? What's your overall record?
I'm 2-2. Or I will be 2-2 after tonight because I did not log into the app for the first 2 weeks. And I did not realize that Rishi Rice was on my roster because, again, I auto-draft. And so he has obviously not played football yet.
And I hope you left him in.
I did. Well, yeah, I hadn't logged into the app for 2 weeks.
No, so you have him out now?
Oh, yes, I do now.
Oh, lame. Lame.
I know. Well,
you should have played the team that auto-draft handed you.
Kaharski was talking smack to me yesterday in the press box. He goes, I hope you know that this kicker is hurting you. And I said, what do you mean? He said, we're playing each other in fantasy football. I said, oh, I'm the league champion, by the way. The Titans Media League. Anyway, I don't know what to do about the Sneed thing. Like, it is one play, and Sneed wasn't, like, bad yesterday. But you got to know, if you're talking smack on an 0-3 team going into a situation like that, when you yourself have not been to form so far, save the Rams game, you probably just need to not do the talking in the locker room before you play an opponent because now you're 0-4.
Yeah, he had a costly penalty too early on a 2nd and 6 for the Titans. They wiped away a Titan sack. Cody Barton got home. The Titans rush got home. Barton's just the one that brought down C.J. Stroud. So Titans were close to having 3 sacks on the day, but an illegal contact on Sneed, automatic first down. So it would have been a 3rd and long, 3rd and 13 instead at 1st and 10 for the Texans.
So he spent the rest of the time, Sneed did, talking about, execution on the players. We got to know the situations, this, that, and the other. And that's all well and good, but it's tough. It's tough to put yourself in the line of fire that way because you knew as soon as he said it, he was going to be made a meme of after the fact, and that's basically what happened. Nico Collins, by the way, very diplomatic after the game. I don't know if you saw the Nico Collins locker room stuff circulating yesterday, but he was just like, yeah, I've got a lot of respect for 38 on the other side. Let's just do that.
I mean, Sneed said the same thing after the fact.
Yeah, after he got his ass whipped.
He did the who thing beforehand.
Respectfully. All right. Joe is in Goodlettsville.
Thanks for taking the call. Hey, a couple of things, really.
All right, your phone line is
sorry,
horrendous.
Joe.
Sorry, Joe.
Oh, no, he was cutting it off.
What do you mean he was cutting off?
He was probably riding a mower or something is what it sounded like. It sounded like he was cutting it off. Y'all just dumped him. Don't even give him a chance.
Yeah, maybe don't call me while you're mowing the lawn.
Well, I mean, he's supposed to quit work? He wasn't getting off the mower.
Yeah, don't call me while you're mowing the lawn.
Joe, call me back. I'll get you
in. Andy is in Hermitage.
Good afternoon, fellas.
Hey.
Quick question.
Oh, sorry, Andy, you're driving.
Shut up.
You can't. Don't be driving. Don't be driving. And
I can hear him. Go ahead,
I
Andy.
just took myself off the Bluetooth to be a champion for the people.
Oh, look at that.
Okay.
Suck it, Robert.
I take it back.
No, Robert just improved the call.
If Robert were president and Lewis were Secretary of State, what would Buck be? But I do have another question.
I'm not sure what Lewis would be. Lucas, what would you be?
What's your question?
No, Lucas would be Secretary of State. I'm not sure what Buck would be.
He would be my assistant.
Well, what I want to say is about Callahan, I just don't trust the man anymore. And it comes from the comment that he made when he said he misspoke when he didn't even know the NFL rule. The giggle that he gave when he said, I'm very proud of how I called basically plays, but it was my decision to give away the play calling duties during the game. I think he thinks we're all just a bunch of ignorant hillbillies. And while some of us are, not all of us are. I just don't understand how we can believe anything that this man says moving forward, aside from the things that he's clearly saying just to keep his job.
Well, Andy,
I just wanted to know what you thought.
Well, before you hang up, can I offer you something here that you may consider? He is answering questions, and it's not a defense of Brian Callahan because Brian Callahan has, also put himself into this position. But Brian Callahan is the only one fielding questions for an organization top to bottom that has made bad decisions all over the place, and he's the one who's having to take our bows and arrows that way.
True, but don't you want an honest answer? I listen to 104.5 from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Don't have to. I do it because I trust what you guys say. Even you, Buck. You know what I mean? I believe what I hear from them being an honest opinion. When you're doing bad and you stink, you're doing bad and you stink. When you're not doing your job well, you're not doing your job well. The lack of understanding, especially that response when asked about giving up the play calling,
for sure.
I think I just can't get past that. I can't get past his response on that one.
I completely understand, and thank you for the call. When he's not going, coaches are not 100% truthful at the podium. We can acknowledge that they're not going to give us full transparency. But that's the problem with somebody who overtalks or provides more information than is necessary, the way that Brian Callahan can tend to do. Some people thought it was refreshing at the start because Mike Vrabel would grunt and growl and tell you to bleep off because it's not his job to teach you football. But that's probably the better approach at the podium, even if it doesn't help media, even if it doesn't inform fans. Like, to say less and do more is kind of a theme here.
Take the call on 3 if you don't mind.
Definitely not Joe in Goodlettsville is up next.
Hey, Joe in Goodlettsville is here.
Hey, Joe, come on, dude! I just ran sabotage for you. You guys threw me under the bus.
Sorry about that.
What do you got, Joe?
Hey, man, listen. Now, this has gone back, 6 or 7 years, and there has to be a common denominator on what's going on in the front office. That's what I got to say. That maybe Vrabel was onto something when he wanted more control on the situation because he knew what he had to work with in the front office. And on top of that, yesterday I noticed, or the day before, that whenever quarterback is in, Cam is in a shotgun, he has his right foot up in front. So when he gets the ball, he has to turn 180 degrees to make a play. I don't know I was watching some of the games last night. Not all professional quarterbacks do that. I don't know if he's been taught to do something different, and that's just a lingering habit he has. He missed the slant last night when it was tipped at the front of the line. It could have been picked up as soon as the dude got out of his stance and took off. He just was a little late on getting some of the stuff there also. But like I said, that's my 2 or 3 things I have going on right there. Some things, like I say, it is when the coach first got this job, he knew he had a hard job.
Appreciate the call, Joe. That's 60 seconds on the clock. That's how the show works. You can't hear the Oscars music, but we can. We do appreciate it. And thank you for turning off your lawn equipment so that we could hear you better.
Beautiful day to mow the lawn.
It's going to be hot. Okay. So let me start here with what he's pointing out about Cam Ward's mechanics. Cam Ward is a raw player. Cam Ward needs refinement. None of these players come to the NFL as finished products. Not Trevor Lawrence, not Peyton Manning, not Cam Ward, not Joe Burrow, right? Like, all of these players have something that they need to improve upon to be able to succeed at the NFL level. Cam Ward has some mechanical things that he's got to clean up. The problem is he's having to default to just, hey, let me try to make a play here, because things are breaking down around him and he's having to play outside of structure. And that's the kind of thing that you don't want to see, because it's going to fortify him in bad habits, or it can fortify him in bad habits if he is not properly supported that way. So specific to what you're talking about, Joe, I'm just talking about larger themes there. Now, the other thing about what you're saying with the Titans organization, bad teams stay bad. Bad teams who are run poorly from the very top stay bad for a reason. We're going to have a conversation about Amy Adams Strunk and the people that she's put around her to run her team later on in the show, because, again, we have 2 more hours after this one to expand upon that. But she is ultimately responsible for cratering her franchise, because she has hired bad people, and those people have hired bad people, and those people have put this situation, or have created the situation that now is in front of us. And also, the people that she hired that were good at the time had bad runs, bad drafting. All of these things have compounded to crater her organization. But it is ultimately her responsibility, because it's her team. All right. Second hour coming up next. We will dive into more of this. Ben Jones is going to be in studio with us. I'm sure Ben is going to have some fun thoughts about the way that his Georgia Bulldogs fell to Alabama over the weekend, but we'll talk Titans too. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone.
11:01, good morning from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. Titans are 0-4 for the first time since 2009 after a 26-0 loss in Houston on Sunday. It's the first shutout loss for the Titans since October 2019. Titans gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter. They were held to 50 total yards in the second half. The AP poll came out on Sunday. Tennessee remains at 15 in the rankings after their overtime win at Mississippi State. Vanderbilt moving up 2 spots to 16 after a blowout win over Utah State. Commodores heading to Tuscaloosa to face Alabama this weekend. College game day will be in the house. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Ben Jones is in studio, as is the custom, for the second hour on Monday. Thank God, because we need rationale, we need reason, we need sense. Ben, I can't get it from your former football franchise, so I have to get it from you. I'm sorry to drag you through this all season long, but it's good to see you, my guy.
It's good to see you, Buck.
This was the Ben Jones Bowl on Sunday.
Well, there was the Ben Jones Bowl Part 1, and then there was the Ben Jones Bowl Part 2, because famously for somebody who grows up as close to Tuscaloosa as Ben did.
Oh, man, what a weekend for you.
Some trauma.
Yeah, it was bad for me. Not a good weekend. Yeah, it's weird. You get drafted by a team there, then you come over to here, so you know the meaning behind that game, and we laid an egg this week.
Also the Ryder Cup. Speaking of
great weekend of sports.
Yeah, I mean, goodness.
Hey, Nashville SC's playoff bound.
Did they win?
Let's go.
Does it start tonight? When is the big game?
Wednesday? They have a cup final on Wednesday in Austin, yes, but they clinched the MLS Cup playoff Saturday with the win over Houston. Somebody beat Houston over the weekend.
Finally.
Thank God. It's just, I'm begging I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name of the soccer player that we had on Friday.
Eddie Tagseth.
Tagseth. I'm begging Eddie Tagseth on Friday. Please win. Please, somebody, God, win. Because the Preds are getting ready to start their season, too. College basketball's right around the corner, which means just unending trauma for me. But there are comments in the YouTube section, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, where you can interact with the show. Somebody says, I love you, Ben Jones. Come back, my sweet prince. They miss you. We'll get to your phone calls, too, here in just a second. 615-737-1045. That is the number. Of course, we will take your calls for Ben Jones as well as we work our way through this mess. So which mess do you want to start with? You want to start with Alabama and Georgia? Or you want to start with the Titans?
Whatever your heart desires.
It's like I don't want to do any of it. Get me out of here. That shutout yesterday. The last time you guys were shut out, I was there. You were on the football team. That was a turning point for the good.
Yep.
Not to shovel any dirt on Marcus Mariota's name, but we understood the circumstance, and that then triggered the run that you all went on that jettisoned you into the AFC Championship game and ultimately coming up short of the ultimate goal. But still, this, Ben, is not that. This is a much different feeling. This is an embarrassment by a division rival where the ownership group hates each other, where the cities have large resentments towards each other, and where the team that was on the field yesterday for Tennessee just had no answers, and finally the dam broke defensively, and all of a sudden a terrible Houston offense is just rolling over them like a tsunami. What do I do with this?
Yeah, it was rough. First half, couldn't get anything going. Our most consistent guy laid an egg as a field goal kicker yesterday. Couldn't get any momentum that way. Had a couple chances. I don't know how they don't call roughing the passer right there on the sideline.
Criminal.
That is above anything in the head neck region ever. It's a flag. And yes, they are a little more like, hey, we're going to let a young kid get hit a little more. If that had been your big name quarterbacks, Mahomes, they'd have thrown 40 flags on the field.
Been a subpoena.
Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, I know it comes with
congressional hearing would have been had.
No doubt. And you can see Jeff, how mad he was. Jeff knows the rules. He's saying it. He's pointing it out on the sideline. You see it. I'm like, golly, come on. That's the momentum and stuff. Like, hey, you take advantage of that. You go score. You start the game off right. Nothing goes our way. Like, do that. Don't get it. Miss a field goal. Same thing for half. Miss another one. Like, we can't get momentum. Like, it's a game of, no matter if your team's playing good or bad, if you get a lead, the first points, it always brings a little more juice to it, and we just can't find a way to get started.
Before we talk about, the other things and the consequences here, I want to ask you about the reaction or lack thereof from the Titans sideline. I don't know if you heard us talking about this in the first hour, because, and for people who didn't, who are just now joining us, the Azeez Al-Shaair should have been a penalty. Just 2 hands to the face of Cam Ward. It's outrageous. And it happens right in front of the Titans sideline. I have seen you and Taylor lose your minds over way less egregious offenses in defense of Marcus Mariota. And the Titans sideline is in a bad circumstance right now. They feel a bit broken to me, Ben. I don't know how much should be made, or if there is a certain level of expectation that if your quarterback gets harassed the way that Cam Ward was, that you are going to immediately come to the defense of him. And it's being pointed out that was not quite the reaction that this Titans sideline had. What should I make of that?
Yeah, that one's hard because he's still behind you. You're supposed to be blocking. You're playing to the whistle. So it's hard to see as an offensive lineman unless you're rolling out, it's downfield. Those are the one you can see, and then you're like, hey, that's your reaction comes from. Marcus scrambles versus Seattle. He breaks one down the sideline. He gets absolutely creamed. Yes, we're going to come to fight. But you're supposed to be blocking, so that's going to be hard to see behind you. And what have we been harping on all week? No more penalties. Don't do anything to get the thing. So I can see both sides of it. Hey, if it was we hadn't had a lot of these penalties, I wouldn't be surprised Jeff's on the field. But I know they've been harping penalties at practice. They're doing everything possible. So they're trying to be smart. They don't want to hurt the team in any other way. But the refs got to be better.
And they were not overwhelmingly penalized yesterday. No. Former Titan center Ben Jones here with us on 104.5 The Zone.
Yeah, and to that point, we were talking about their average third down distance yesterday, Ben. It was still in that same 8-9 yard range, 8.4 average down in distance. They were 2 of 11 on third downs. Penalties weren't necessarily knocking them back constantly. They gave up just the 2 sacks. What did you see in terms of why they couldn't really get out of the gates on offense and set themselves up for success on those third down situations?
Yeah, they just wasn't making plays. Third downs, you got to get open, you got to protect the passer, and you got to know what they're going to be in. You motion, you shift, you find out what it is. You got to have a plan. It looked like the Georgia-Alabama game. Alabama, they're 9 of 11 at one point on third down. Georgia was 2 of 7. Looked the exact same. They had a plan. Alabama was going to motion, formation, make the defense communicate. They did. They converted. Georgia didn't. Critical situations, Georgia didn't make the play. Tennessee didn't make the play. Very similar games, but it's just frustrating when you see it on third down. That's how you score points. If you're good on third down, it lengthens the drive. You're going to go down and get points. So if you're not good on third down, you better be really good on first and second.
Does it look like to you, Cam was starting to press yesterday with some of the misses? And have you been around that kind of situation where a quarterback just has everything going in the wrong direction? And is it ever that tangible to you? And was it yesterday for Cam Ward?
Yeah, you're asking him to make plays, and with that, he's having to hold the ball longer. And, hey, we still protected. He didn't get hit as much. He's just got to make a couple throws. Gets out there, yes, he's trying to thread it in the needle. He's trying to make the home run throw in there, trying to fit it in windows that's really not there, but he's not really turning it over. We were the same situation with Marcus before. Like, hey, we wasn't that good on offense. He's going to have to make the play. If you can't run the ball effectively on first and second down, it makes it really hard on a young quarterback because you're going to see a million defenses, and you got to have receivers that can get open. Hey, we got big guys who are not really getting a lot of separation, so everything's tighter. Everything's got to happen perfect. With that, the more reps you get with the quarterback, the better it comes. So, yes, it's not going to look pretty right now.
Is C.J. Stroud kind of the next level example of that? Because he looks rattled back there, Ben.
He does not look comfortable. Yeah, he's sitting there. He's the same way. If his first read's not there, Nico, it is, what am I going to do with it? Yeah. He's panicking. He doesn't want to get hit. He's the guy who's not a huge scrambler. He's going to make hay with his legs. He wants to get rid of it. Like, how can I get rid of this ball now?
He triple pump faked on one play, ended up taking a sack, and I was like, it's like he's glitching almost. And I suppose that's what happens when you have a quarterback who's just being bludgeoned back there, and they haven't done the requisite things to correct his offensive line situation, and you're seeing the dividends of that. It's a cautionary tale for Titans fans about Cam.
Yeah, you want to get a guy who's confident back there. He knows he's going to be protected. He knows guys are going to win for him, and he's got to have a guy on third down like, hey, this is the route combination. This is my one-on-one matchup. This is who I'm going to. And right now I don't think we have that guy. Calvin's supposed to be that guy. He's supposed to be able to win. every one-on-one matchup. If he gets it, he's not catching it. So he's got to be better. Everybody's got to be better. And that's a guy that you rely on just like you look on the other side of the ball. Jeff gets blocked one-on-one, he wins. Same thing. 4 tackles for loss, sack. He is an issue. Yes, you double team him, kind of take him out the thing. But if you put him one-on-one, you're supposed to win. Calvin, you one-on-one, you got to win.
I'm going to play some Jeff Simmons audio for you in the next segment. Robert, if you could pull that off my Twitter, please. Jeff talking in the locker room, because Ben and Jeff obviously know each other well, and Ben can speak to the kind of effort that Jeff Simmons gives in game, because he's playing right now, Ben, out of
best he's playing, honestly.
Mind. This is the best version of him you've seen, correct?
100%.
We'll talk about that here in just a second, because I want to play this audio for you, and we can get into a discussion, because now if they keep losing games, Ben, people are going to start to talk about what assets can be traded to acquire, draft capital. But it's a prop. Well, hell,
can't get rid of Jeff.
We're already here. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Why not, from your perspective?
He is your backbone in that defense. He is your culture. Yes, if you want to win in the future, he stays. Like, if you're trying to have a nice big stadium over there and people want to come to it, he's got to be there. Like, he is the core of that team. He's the reason you paid him. He gets paid a lot of money. He's a young guy, and the guy is producing. Like, if you ship him off, what does that mean for everybody else? You're not good enough. We're going to get rid of you in the offseason. Like, he is your asset. He is your best player. Like, if he's gone, I think they just might as well – nobody's going to want to show up to work. He's the one who holds everybody accountable.
Well, and that's the interesting thing here, because we talked about this, and obviously, Ben, the Brownlee trade happened after you were with us on Monday, and it's very confusing about why they would make decisions the way that they did, and there is no good reason. They have provided no good explanation. There's been no reporting that Jarvis was any kind of a problem whatsoever. On and on these things go. Lucas pointed this out after it happened. They created another need on a team that already has needs when they're selling off promising young players just because that's not their guy. If you trade away Jeff Simmons and you get a first-round pick, you still need to find another Jeff Simmons.
And those are hard to find. That is, you're going to take a first round, you're going to get the first overall pick, you're going to draft a D tackle again? No. You're not going to take a defensive guy in the top 5 unless it's a rush in. Why? Then you're going to get that. Then you're going to look, man, like, man, I drafted a DN. I wish I would have had Jeff there, because you're still going to get the top 5 pick anyway if we don't turn it around. So I'm like, oh, you get 2 of them, then they're going to be young, and you're like, you don't know. It's flipping a coin. Like, it's so hard to tell if a young kid's going to actually turn out. How many busts has it been? You know he's not a bust, so why get rid of him?
And he's only 28. Like, that's my thing. Like,
he'll turn 29 in the summer.
God forbid anything happens and players can break down at any given point, and they can be a lesser version of themselves. So you can't just operate as if Jeff Simmons is going to be this guy for the next 5 or 6 years. But I really struggle with this, and I think fans are waving the white flag already, Ben, and they're just saying, sell everything off, whatever, draft picks, reset the board, blow up the franchise.
Well, and that's what makes it tough. He is your most sellable asset. I mean, there's
not Ridley or Snead.
Nothing will attract more capital than Jeffrey Simmons. I mean, how many contenders could use a Jeffrey Simmons right now?
Yeah, you look at him, people would want him because he's getting paid well, but he's performing. The other two are really high on your books and not really playing that well. So you're like, hey, do I want to pay this guy, give up draft capital, and we don't really know his character? Hey, is this guy really a dog in the fight? You know what you're getting in Jeff. He is a leader. He's a tough guy. He plays hard on Sunday. He plays through a million injuries, and he's worth it. So I can see, I'm like, yes, if I was another team, I'd be like, hey.
Minnesota tried last year.
What you want for him? I'd be calling every day, like, hey, it's not looking good over there.
I think Robert will give up one of his cats if the Ravens can get Jeffrey Simmons.
Would you Winston or Paris? Would you trade Winston and Paris in a first-round pick for Jeff Simmons?
No, Winston and Paris. Come on.
No, one
generational talent here.
Let's not get crazy.
I'd get rid of Paris.
Oh, no.
I love it.
So we'll hear from Jeff Simmons in the locker room, because it's depressing, man, to talk to them after these games. I do the sad boy radio bit, but like there's a bunch of sad boys in there right now. So we'll do that. We'll take your phone calls. 615-737-1045. Former Titan center Ben Jones here with us. I'm Buck Rising. It's 1045 The Zone. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. It's good to have Ben Jones in here for our sanity, if nothing else. God, what would the show be if we didn't have Ben and Brett? Brett Kern will join us in the noon hour. Nate Washington on Thursdays. It would just be
bad.
Lucas trying desperately to keep me from losing my ever-loving mind every Monday when I come in here.
I'm done trying.
I know. But I don't want you. I joke about running you off, but I don't want you completely broken because we do have to get through a football season together, which I felt might be the case when I saw doing the Fox show with Fitzy on Saturday, how close it came to the upset for Mississippi State over Tennessee. We will talk about Jeff Simmons and the state of the Titans and things like that here in just a second. But Jeff, 2 L's on the weekend, one for his Bulldogs, one for the Titans yesterday. We got to talk about how wild that game was.
Yeah, I want to know if Shy Tuttle said anything to Jeff about Tennessee, Mississippi State over the weekend.
I don't think anybody was saying anything to anybody in that locker room.
Definitely not afterwards. No. This game was nuts. Like this is another Stephon game. This game had everything.
Stephon.
Like muffed punts, scooping scores, drops, terrible officiating, overtime, cowbells. Ben, I don't know how much you were locked in as this game was ending during the early stages of Alabama, Georgia. But what did you make of the wacky, basically 5-quarter just insanity that happened in Starkville on Saturday?
You couldn't sit down because you didn't know what was going to happen next. Like, no way. Like, the whole time I kept saying, I'm going to turn over and watch the pregame of the Georgia-Alabama game. No, I'm not. I'm going back to this game.
I kept trying to watch the Indiana finish because they were in a close one with Iowa, but I could not get off the Tennessee game. It was insane.
It was really good. It's good for viewership, I bet. SEC Network's like, yes, we got it. We got a good one here.
Both teams had so many issues and miscues in Tennessee alone with the muff punt and Mike Matthews dropping a touchdown and just all of these things that lose you games on the road, silly penalties, and somehow they managed to outlast Mississippi State despite some questionable at best clock management from Josh Heupel at the end of regulation. But honestly, I wonder if Mississippi State fans are feeling similar to how Tennessee fans, after coming up short against you guys, against Georgia the other week, of like, okay, didn't really know we had that kind of performance in us.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Mississippi State's a lot better than what everybody thought they were. They're like, oh, they haven't played anybody. They beat Arizona State. I think they're a solid team. Like, they look good. They can run the ball. I tell you that much. They were toting it. And you turn back to it and I'm like, that's what the SEC should look like. That's what college football is all about. Great games, home environment. You got to go to a tough place and win. And that's what Tennessee did this week. Hats off to them, because the way some of those plays were going for them, you expected them to lose at some point, and they didn't break. They kept coming back. They kept finding a way, and that's what good teams do. They find a way to win.
Well, and that's the thing that I loved about it, is because that call on Chris Brazzell was
horrendous.
Ridiculous.
Terrible. Yeah.
Like, objectively across the board, I did not see a single person push back on egregious missed call that wiped a touchdown off the board. And to your point, Ben, the way that they battled through that en route to, taking it to overtime and finishing them off was critical. You were not excited about Alabama, Georgia.
Never am.
When last we saw you. That did not go in your favor. How did that game play out relative to your expectations? Because you there's a little bit of battered, we call it battered Titan syndrome, battered Vol syndrome.
BDS?
Battered dog syndrome?
Yeah.
It's a Kyler Murray shirt last week.
It sounds like animal abuse. Maybe we should change it.
Yeah, that's not ideal. Anyway, relative to expectation, how did that play out?
Yeah, the whole time as a Georgia fan, you have years and years of like, hey, what's going to go wrong? Something's going to happen. We've been up at halftime in national championship games, SEC championship games, and Saban would make a halftime correction, and they would come back and win. Now we come out, and they are electric. Alabama is throwing it all over the yard on us, and we're like, all right, we're over here pounding the rock. It's like 2 different games going on in one. Then you come out of half, we have a chance to win. We get a third down, looks like a first down. The quarterback scrambles to the 7-yard line, dives in. Instead of sitting back and seeing like, hey, let's challenge this spot, we're going to go hurry and not convert and give it to Cash Jones. Frustrating right there.
The eyes closed.
Like, we had the opportunity. If you're going to do that, what happened to a good old-fashioned QB sneaks? Like, hey, we got a big offensive line. We are pounding the rock all over the field. Just line up. Hey, check, see if we got the first down. If we don't, great. We're going to run QB sneak. Don't care if you know it. We're going to run it right behind our left guard, who is a man-child, and we're going to get this first down and go about it. But no, we're going to try to get cute, go fast, and not execute.
If you told me Georgia was going to average 6.9 yards per carry on 33 carries, I would have thought, no way they lose this game at home. Like, what do you think? How mystified are you at this point by the Kirby Smart Alabama speed bump? 1-8, I believe, is the record now, and the one win is in a national championship, so you'll take that. But at this point, spanning over multiple head coaches against different types of quarterbacks, home, road, neutral, it's so hard to pinpoint. It's just the strangest thing, Ben, that Kirby just can't get over this Alabama hump.
Yeah, it's frustrating. You have them at home. You have this 33-game winning streak. You think you're Alabama's – give them the credit. That offensive coordinator dialed it up. If you're that efficient on third down, you deserve to win. Like, we wasn't efficient on third and fourth down. That's how you win games at home. You got to be effective. You got to have a road crowd. Your crowd's got to affect them. You got to have a lot of pre-snap penalties and stuff like that. We didn't have that. Yes, we made them use their timeouts in the first half, but other than that, their quarterback executed. They had a game plan. They knew what plays were going to be their big plays and when they needed them. They dialed up some great plays there on the third down to end the game, and that's what you give them their credit. They came prepared. They had 2 weeks to prepare just like us, and they were more prepared.
Bama shut out in the second half. And managed to pull it out.
615-737-1045, the number. If you have questions, comments, concerns, Ben Jones is hanging out here with us. Let's go to William in Nashville.
Hello, guys. How are you today?
Well.
Hello?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello, guys. How are you today?
Doing good, bud.
I said well, but that's fine. Go ahead.
You there?
Oh, my God. Goodbye. Cameron is in Kentucky.
Yeah,
next.
that's tough.
Hello?
Shut up. Fade him up. Hey, Cameron. What you got?
Sorry, I heard the other guy talking in the background. I am a particular type of pissed off today. I'm a Kentucky fan and a Titans fan, so put me on suicide watch.
Man.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. Like, let's just give Calvin Ridley away. Maybe if we throw in one of those Brett Kern bobbleheads they were given to PSL holders, maybe they'll give us a 7th round for him. Bam's confidence has started to slip because of the play of the team. You could tell that yesterday. Obviously, he's pissed off just like the rest of us. I think we need to just take a page out of your book and just stop going to games. Stop giving Amy Adams our money. I think that's the only thing that's going to help. When 10,000, 20,000 other fans start showing up and no Titans fans are showing up and you've got a quarter of the stadium filled, which I'm sure it's getting pretty close to that anyway. Other than that, I don't know, just fire every damn body. This shit's getting insane.
Oh, thanks for the call. All right, Cameron going through it. Hey, Cameron.
The amount of Kentucky Titans fans that have emerged over the last couple weeks to voice their displeasures. I knew there were Titans fans in Kentucky, but, man, that's a tough existence right now.
Well, and there's also, again, we don't have to do the Justice for Will Levis show, but there are Kentucky Titans fans who are looking around being like, I don't think that guy was all that bad, even if that guy was quite that bad. Like, there are reasons to believe that they didn't make him better based on how this situation is going, not to excuse Will Levis and the turnovers, but I'm more willing to hear those arguments, even if I do still disagree with them. At the end of the day, I mean, Ben, it's not a fair question opposed to you about how players feel when stands start to empty, because you didn't have to deal with that, to the best of my knowledge, maybe towards the end.
Yeah, we want our fans there. They're supporting us, but as a player and a thing, you got to put a product on the field that they want to come see. You got to take pride in that. You want, it's got to. You like when I got here, they're the worst team in the league. So those first couple games, it is Nashville for a reason. People are coming here that, I'm going to Nashville to watch them get a win, and we started winning those games. Then our fans were like, hey, we're going to come support. So you got to win some to get some support from the thing. It's not just like, hey, I understand. Like, hey, you work really hard for your money. Why waste it if you're not going to go out there and win? Like, give them something to come play for, come watch, and that's what I agree. Like, if I was paying for the tickets, I'd be like, I'm not going to that game. And that's all the right to it. Like, hey, as a player, you got to have pride in it. You got to put a product out there that fans want to watch. If not, they're going to change the channel and not come to your games.
From my standpoint, it's the only way to effectively send her as Amy Adams Strunk and the people who are tasked to speak on behalf of Amy Adams Strunk, and that's Burke Nihill, the team president, who helped her get her new stadium across the finish line, and that's well done by Burke, but it's lipstick on a pig, as we talked about on Thursday with Nate Washington, when your product is so awful, and the people who you've then empowered further because they helped her get a stadium, and now she's given them more, for lack of a better term, leeway in decision-making things that they probably don't have the expertise that is necessary to make decisions on. They are, at the end of the day, responsible. The only effective way to send them a message is to stop giving them your money.
Yeah, that's what's hard. You're sitting there, you see other owners who are so into the program that you be like, man, I wish they would back out of it.
Sure.
And like,
she's not Jerry. She's not meddling. She's not
that.
Irsay tweeting, random things at random times.
Right. So that was my thing. Like, hey, she gave us the facility that we need. She gave us coaches. She gave us players when I was here, and we were good. She kind of stayed back. We saw Miss Amy when she was here, and she was always as nice as she could be to us. But at some point, like, hey, something's got to give. Like, hey, Miss Amy, make a stand. We love you to death as playing for you. You're a great owner for us, but we got to get this thing back on track. We want fans back in the stands. We got to put a product out there. But who's in your corner for you? Who's helping you make the decisions? And we got to get this thing back right because we got to get I want to look forward to going to church and coming home and watching a good product and enjoying that with my family and kids.
Well, and you're uniquely equipped to answer this because we don't know all the details, obviously, and Mike was never going to tell us one way or the other.
Right.
Vrabel wanted more say over football.
Right.
And they were unwilling to give him as much control as he wanted.
Right.
But, Ben, I wonder if you could speak to the idea of the football people being left to do the job of football and the business people handling that side of things, where now the business people have interjected themselves into the football. And do you have that Burke Nihill clip, Robert, from the interview from the morning show a couple of years ago we could play for Ben? Burke Nihill is also a huge part of the hiring process of Brian Callahan. Let's play the audio for Ben Jones.
It feels really, really good in the Tennessee Titans practice facility these days. There is definitely a freshness, but Brian Callahan, you can do all your research on somebody, you can get references, you can do hours and hours of interviews with someone, but you don't really know completely what you have until someone gets in the building. I mean, I think that's true of a marketing position, it's true of an accounting position, but when you're talking about a head coach, it's really, really important that you have a really good recruiting process and you make a wise decision. Since Brian got here, we thought that we got this right. We crushed it. Brian Callahan is the real deal. He sets a tone as a leader. He's as smart as they come. He is, low ego, high impact. And so I think the future is bright. I think the present's bright too, but I think the future is especially bright given this aligned approach to the football organization with a head coach like Brian Callahan.
And they were saying all this because Vrabel was giving the business people bad vibes. But, Ben, like, at a certain point, you have to let the football people handle the football and worry about winning, and you do your job. That's the thing that makes me insane about all this.
Yeah, it's hard. It's two different kind of people. When you have coaches and people who are working 1 million hours, they're not sleeping. Yes, they're going to be a little harsh on their words. They're not going to be as friendly to people upstairs. It's two different lives, and you're trying to mix them. Like, that's what's hard to do in this. It's a huge business, and the teams that are really good at it, they figured it out. And I feel like we're still trying to figure that out. And yes, nobody said Callahan was a bad person. Yes, I think he is all that. I think he's a great guy, great person, all that. But he might not be the right fit for us long term here. And yes, that's what's so hard, because if you come in and interviewed me before did I ever talk to y'all? No, y'all probably hated me. But everybody in that locker room, all those coaches,
I understood you.
coaches knew what they were getting me. But I was awful to media, awful and all that, because all I cared about was football. Sometimes your best football coaches and the ones that have no personality, they know the X's and O's, and that's what they care about. Yes, I don't care if you're a great person in every aspect. Like, I want your job is to be the best football coach, the person that gives us the best situation to win. Like, yes, I've had guys that played next to me, dumb as a box of rocks. But you know what? They cared about football, and they were smart in football. And that's all I cared about. Like, hey, they're going to give me their all on Sundays. Other than that, I'm like, golly, we got to get y'all after life. Like, how are y'all going to function outside of this building?
Not very nice to say about Quentin Spain.
Love Q Spain. Q Spain is my guy.
Dumb as a box of rocks is hilarious.
That's the thing that seems to have predicated the biggest part of this downfall, Ben, is that they have people meddling in areas that should not be meddled with because Mike Vrabel rubbed them a little raw. You know, maybe the phrasing on that is wrong, but you understand my point. 615-737-1045 is the number. Daniel is in Mount Juliet.
Hey, Buck. Love the show. I'm a longtime Titan fan and PSL holder. But this question is for Ben. I'd like to get your opinion on why didn't Dan Moore go out and behead Titan legend Aziz after the egregious and dirty hit on Ward? What would Taylor Lewan have done? And is this telling us something about our offense as a unit? And that they're not quite there with each other because not one offensive player went up to defend him.
Yeah, that's hard. We spent a lot of time together as an O-line room. Like, we went to dinner every Thursday night. We were a group of guys who was as close as they come. I was the oldest guy in that year, in year 5 or 6, so we all kind of ran the same paths. We hung out at each other. Marcus was at every one of our things together. So he was like one of our brothers. We respected him with that. I got to give some of these guys some credit. They're out there trying to block. You want them to protect them on third down. So hopefully on that play he was blocking his guy and didn't see it. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But, yes, you want to see a fire in those guys. And that was Taylor's role. Like, yes, I was going to do the X's and O's, and Taylor was our heartbeat through that. He was the fire guy. He was the guy who the other team's like, man, what is that guy going to do the next play? So he took the heat off of everybody else because if anybody's going to get a penalty, our boy Lewan was king of it. But we loved him for it. He was the fire. He was the juice. You got to have one. You don't want all church mice sitting over there. It'd have been a boring day. You got to have a wild card in there.
I told you off-air, Taylor FaceTimed me this morning, and we were talking about some things before he had an interview with Dan Lanning. I think we need to get Lewan in here. It's been a while.
Absolutely.
Maybe on a Monday. Maybe we bring Taylor in here with you and we have some fun. Be like I need to feel good again about the team that I cover, Ben, and I miss those locker rooms because you guys, not only were you competent and good, but there was just a different kind of a vibe. And I think, any opportunity I can get to recreate that in here makes me happy. All right. You've done your duty for the day. Well done by you. Ben Jones, every Monday with us here on 104.5 The Zone. We'll continue to take your phone calls. We'll dive back into some SEC football. Lucas, you want to talk some more college football?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Yes, that's your quarterback. That is Cam Ward. Cameron, all of them. Cam Ward talking about the state of the franchise last night. Well done by Robert Walsh. 615-737-1045 is the number. Cam's in a bad spot. Lucas, I don't want to continue to drag us through the sad boy thing because it was an excellent weekend of college football. Tuesdays are typically our college football day. Brett Kern Brett Kern is already here, but Brett Kern will turn his microphone on in about 15 minutes after he's done mourning the Ryder Cup results from the weekend. Maybe a little soccer talk with Titans legend Brett Kern.
Good vibes at Geodis Park Saturday.
I need some good vibes at this point, please. Vibes were awesome for the college football weekend. Indiana survives Iowa. That was a little, that got a little tight there for a minute. Vanderbilt bounced back nicely against Utah State, who gave them a bit of a fight in the first half. Tennessee survives Mississippi State.
A lot of survival. Georgia Tech. A lot
of survival.
Staying unbeaten. They survive in overtime against Wake Forest, and Illinois with the bounce-back win over USC, who, you can't blame them. They had to play at 11 a.m. Central. What are you going to do? Did you hear that from Lincoln Riley complaining about that last week?
Weenie behavior.
Very weenie behavior. Who
Weenie
could have
Hut
seen it
Jr.
coming? What'd you say?
Weenie Hut Jr. Just forget.
I'm sorry, buddy. He can't see you, and he's just so damn loud, and he tramples you every time.
Don't do this. You can't turn us against each other.
I don't have to. You do it. You do it to him. You are the offender in this particular situation. You apologize to him.
No, I prefer when Lucas is facing away from me. You can't make us turn against each other because I will always be watching him leave.
That ass. Cam Ward, not talking about the Titans, just talking about Lucas.
Florida State going down.
Ass.
Did you see former Tennessee wide receiver Squirrel White almost get trampled? Yes. They had to come out and say he's okay. I thought he was straight up trampled. That was insane. On that pass intended for him at the death and double OT, fastest field storming I have ever seen in my life. Virginia, their fan base just erupting onto the field.
The Fighting John Glennons.
Oh, my God. The Fighting John Freemans. Shout out to my guy, John Freeman, the play-by-play voice over there. We've had him in studio here before when we were leading up to that Tennessee UVA game. Former radio voice of Nashville SC. He had a great call. Virginia swallows the field, is what he said when the fan base spilled out. Crazy game. So we watched that game on Friday, and we thought, oh, is this a bad sign for Alabama, who went up to Florida State and got punked in week 1? But no, Alabama did an Alabama thing when they went to Athens and continued their crazy domination over Kirby Smart. And then there's Penn State, who once again had the most rip-your-hair-out, mind-numbing loss, coming back from down 14, going to overtime, scoring first in overtime. It goes to double OT, and Oregon gets the win. Drew Aller throws an interception in the second OT, and Penn State just still can't get over that hump. And then here's Ole Miss, who at home beats LSU 24-19, who cannot run the ball. LSU seems so stunted offensively, and Trinidad Chambliss is out here leading Ole Miss to the top of the charge in terms of SEC standings. If you're to power rank SEC teams right now, it's difficult not to put Ole Miss at the top, and the SEC is an absolute war zone right now. Unless you are Kentucky, you are going to be a thorn in someone's side on any given Saturday. And a lot of people are putting Arkansas in this discussion, who fired Sam Pittman yesterday.
Notre Dame mopped the floor with them. Jeremiah Love, 4 first-half touchdowns, just unstoppable.
Yeah, 56-13 the final. But I'm not going to sit here and say that Arkansas is going to be lifeless down the stretch here the way Kentucky is. When Bobby Petrino is handed the interim gig, Talon Green is a quarterback that many good programs across the country would take as their starter today. And by the way, their next game, Bobby Petrino's debut as the interim head coach, will be in Knoxville in 2 weeks. Both Tennessee and Arkansas are off this weekend. They play at Neyland Stadium in 2 weeks. So we'll see what happens there. I don't know what the craziest game of the weekend was. It had to have been either Oregon, Penn State, or Tennessee, Mississippi State. I still need to go back and look at the extended highlights and recap of Oregon, Penn State. I was doing the Nashville SC game, but it's hard to imagine that it was more chaotic than Tennessee, Mississippi State. This game was insane.
Tennessee, Mississippi State was outrageous. I didn't know it was Squirrel White, as a matter of fact, because we were at dinner on Friday night, came back just in time to catch the fourth quarter and then the overtime, the multiple overtime situation for Florida State and Virginia. But when the field storming took place, I mean, that's I don't know if I'm just getting old, but it's the first time I've been like, oh, they've got to stop this. Like, it's the first time I've been like, oh, no more of this. I'm legitimately scared that a wide receiver, that a player on the field who was on the ground and had no time to get up just got ran the hell over by thousands of screaming children who were ready for their moment, and understandably so. Like, that's what makes sports cool, but, cost benefit analysis there. So I'm sure there's a massive fine coming for Virginia in that way. 615-737-1045, the number before Brett Kern joins us. Stoney Keeley is trying to get you to do mock draft Monday in the comment section.
No, Stoney, can't do it, bud. We do want to get you in here when the time comes for mock draft Monday.
I have to apologize to Lucas.
Why?
The entire chat is just objectifying you.
It's true.
Everything you say, they're just making jokes and puns about your body, and I just feel like it's because I did this.
Well, they're alleging that Lucas doesn't do mock draft Monday. He does Magic City Mondays.
They were also alleging that you aren't sitting on a chair. Your ass is just
feeling like a piece of meat over here.
Caked up.
They're asking if you'll stand up and do a 360. Guys, stop it.
I think we should have him do the McAfee thing where he stands on the chair and spins around and tries to get the audience hype, except it's just a picture of his ass.
They keep saying it's for research purposes. It's not for research purposes.
It's like that trend on Twitter. Have you seen this?
No.
Where there's very attractive women on Twitter, and they're probably well developed in that direction, and people are saying, turn around and show me that Ravens defense.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Admitting that it's ass.
Oh, my goodness.
No, damn it, I have to take calls.
11:57. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. Titans are 0-4 after a 26-0 loss at the Texans on Sunday, the first shutout loss since October 2019. The Titans gave up 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. They were held to 50 rush yards in the second half. The AP poll came out on Sunday. Tennessee remains at 15 in the rankings after an OT win at Mississippi State. Vanderbilt moved up 2 spots to 16 after a blowout win over Utah State. Big game looming Saturday for Vandy at Alabama. A Monday Night Football doubleheader wraps up Week 4 tonight. Dolphins hosting the Jets, a matchup of 0-3 teams. Justin Fields set to return for New York. Kickoff at 6:15. And the Broncos host the Bengals. Kickoff at 7:15. You can hear that game right here on The Zone, courtesy of Westwood One. Brian Callahan is scheduled to meet with Titans media coming up at 1:30, and you can hear that live on Cover 2. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Sanity prevails, which is why Brett Kern is in studio with us. Makes me happy. We need things that make us happy at this point in the football season. We're not quite to October yet, and college football is still a joy in our lives. Brett Kern's picks will give you joy in your life at this point in time.
Not the NFL.
Yeah. Well.
So, hey, I'm sorry about the Colts. That's.
Yeah.
I feel like I convinced you to do that.
You did.
And,
you bullied me a little bit.
But I didn't know Mitchell was going to fumble the ball at the half-yard line. And,
that was
they would have gone up
insane.
17-13, third quarter. Yeah, it's okay.
That would have been one of the plays of the season in the NFL, with the catch and the spin move and the broken tackle. Oh, even I was heartbroken for Adonai Mitchell in that moment.
It's next level dumb. Like those situations. And he's trying to change hands.
Yeah, I didn't feel like it was an egregious
to celebrate, but he's trying to celebrate is the thing. Like
he's setting something up. He's setting something up, and that it didn't work out. And so that obviously led to a different path the way that game took, and obviously resulting in the Rams scoring late in the game on that long, was it 88-yard touchdown pass by Stafford?
Matt Stafford's still really good.
Yep. He's very good.
Still really good.
And that was tough. Like yesterday, Bryce, he had Indiana Jones. He started him. And I was like, who's your bench quarterback? And he goes, Matthew Stafford.
Oh, in fantasy, though, Matt Stafford.
hindsight's 2020. I don't fault Bryce's logic going in, man.
I
Danny
get
Dimes was slinging it.
I get it, but I'm like, you have a future Hall of Famer, gold jacket.
Yeah.
He's throwing to Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams.
Good week for old quarterbacks. Rodgers in Dublin, ripping one over the middle to DK Metcalf, 80 yards, right after he ripped some smelling salts. Did we see this?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I didn't see the entirety of that because obviously we're going through pregame while that Dublin game's going on in Houston. I don't know how much value to assign to the international games, though, because those feel like the wonkiest results. Because one of our friends was actually two people that we know well were in Dublin for the game in different capacities for the NFL, and I got a text that said, guys, the Steelers might be good. I just don't know what to do with international games.
It's tough.
In that way, because I know the Vikings to also be good, and now you have Vikings fans freaking out about Kevin O'Connell, the coach of the year, the reigning coach of the year's play calling abilities because of what they look like right now. It's just, I don't know.
And I sent you that article, too. Rodgers complaining about how they got over there, what was it, like Friday afternoon?
Yeah.
Which I couldn't imagine. I mean, we got over there, in essence, Friday morning, and it felt like a whirlwind. I was like, game over. Vikings got this.
Yeah. It turns out, smelling salts and a dark beer retreat, I think, were the jokes being made. What do you got, Robert?
How do we get any of those? The smelling salts. Have you ever smelled them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lucas?
I have smelled a smelling salt at one point in my life.
That kind of sounded like 40-year-old virgin, like bag of sand. I don't think you've smelled one. How do we get some smelling
table
salts?
salt. I'm just smelling table salt.
I feel like it would help us do a better job for the radio. Like on Mondays and Tuesdays when we're dragging, like, okay, all right, everybody break out the salts. Then we go, everybody gets a good sniff, and then we come in here and do a good job.
I don't think you want me on that.
It helps them.
You could probably get overnighted through Prime. They probably got them on Prime.
For sure.
You get them on Prime?
Why not? Sure. What can't you get on Prime?
Okay, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to get us some smelling salts. And I feel like that would help us on segments where it's like, okay, here we go. The same old rigmarole. This team sucks.
Again.
Yep. But everybody takes a big sniff. And we get over it together. I'm going to order some smelling salts.
Well,
Matt Prater used to put 10 of them in a Dasani water bottle. And like right before kickoff or field goal, this is when we were in Denver together. And that thing, he would shake it up and then smell it. Oh, my God, Matt.
Oh.
And it looked like he was going to pass out.
That sounds illegal.
I'm like, dude, you got to go out and like make a 50-yarder. What are you doing?
Putting him in a water bottle is diabolical.
Shaking it up.
What was that we made in college when we were all too broke to have a nice bong? What were they called? It's like a gravity bong for smelling salts. Like you're mega casting the smell to just oof up your nose. That sounds awful.
A young kicker, that's awesome.
Brett Kern wants no part of that conversation, and also I was using Gatorade bottles and things out of a toolbox.
What happened to them?
Sure, was not good for me.
But Matt Prater's still kicking, so it must work.
What happened to them banning smelling salts? Wasn't that a thing?
I don't know.
The clubs are not allowed to provide.
Not allowed to provide.
Okay,
so the guys just get them on Amazon Prime.
We could just
check right now.
Well, I was talking about bringing Lawan in here at some point. We just go raid bussing staff.
He made people sniff smelling salts.
Well, he would just walk up.
He
to
would
people
come over to you and just
assault.
shove it in your nose, and I'm like, you can't.
Taylor, let's not.
Please. He didn't care.
No means no, Taylor.
I mean, what was I going to do?
I don't know at that point. It's you got to ride it out. So we make jokes because we need to laugh. A day like today, Brett, I'm getting ready to go to a coach's press conference who is not yet fired, but it feels like we are heading in that direction, and they get blanked by the Houston Texans yesterday on the road against a divisional opponent, a game that is incredibly important to ownership, and they get pantsed. Yeah. I want to talk to you about Cam, though, because he's getting worse, it seems, and that seems like the surest way to get fired as a coaching staff, where the quarterback seems to be, I think the word that you used in the commercial break was digressing as opposed to progressing.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's just a little bit of digression. Not a lot, but
is it regression or digression?
Digress.
We get the point.
Okay. We get the point. It's not getting better.
Yes.
And it could be multiple things. It could be the play call to separation by the receivers. The pass rush. I mean, they tried a flea flicker yesterday that you need a lot of protection for that. Obviously, that didn't happen. You try to throw back with DK, still need protection, and Hunter did a great job of just kind of shadowing Cam, so that didn't happen. It looks like Cam may be a little bit more comfortable kind of in a shotgun NASCAR hurry up type situation where, everything's happening a little bit quicker. You don't have to worry about longer routes progressing. As Coach Matt calls them, the transcontinental routes, that just take a lot of time. Deep routes take a lot of time. And I even saw it a little bit with Marcus where it was kind of the same thing where when he was under center, he was taking 5-step, 7-step drops. Like, he just didn't look as comfortable. And now that's because of pressure, like feeling pressure. It looks like Cam's just kind of, pump fake. Is his 1 not open? Is his 2 not open? I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. I'd be curious to see what Greg Cosell says as far as breaking, kind of each play down.
Yeah.
You necessarily can't do that watching the TV copy, but it does look like he's a little more comfortable going quicker, shotgun, 3-step, balls out. But it's something to obviously watch, but that's the last thing you want is your quarterback, your number 1 pick, to be not getting better, digressing. It's not great. And so obviously, like I said, there could be a lot of contributing factors to that, but it's just something that you don't want.
Well, we understand that it's not just one thing, right? Like this, and this was always going to be the case, but it starts out worse than you could have imagined with the coaching mishaps that have taken place. Yesterday, they play as clean a game.
I mean, there's really, the first penalty, you look at the first penalty by Snead, it takes away a sack, which would have been a 3rd down. Like, it's just a killer penalty to take, especially with how quick Cody got back there. He got back into the backfield and hit him hard. But then it's obviously negated by a hold. And then your next penalty doesn't come till the 4th quarter. And so obviously they played a pretty good game penalty wise, but for Joey to miss 2 kicks, it looks like he was just trying to guide him in there. Hips looked a little open, which causes your body to kind of drift a little to the left, get you a little toey. and just kind of pushed both of them. But, I mean, you're going in the third quarter and Fairbairn misses a 54-yarder.
Yeah.
And you got good field position and you're down 6-0. And your defense is doing enough. Bend, don't break. Jeff Simmons doing Jeff Simmons things. Double team, single, whatever. Like he's causing havoc. There's just I think the backbreaker was when it's 1st and 30, and then it goes to 2nd and 33, and then you give up a 37-yard deep ball to Nico, and it just and then obviously 7 plays later they go down and score. Knowing that you really you hadn't got to the red zone at that point, knowing that 12 points isn't a lot, but 12 points is a lot to overcome for this team. So that was just kind of the backbreaker series to give up, 2nd and 33 on that type of play.
Well, you've been on teams, Brett Kern hanging out in studio with us, that have had a lot to overcome early on. Correct me if I'm wrong. 2009, your first season in Tennessee?
Yeah, when I got here, they were 0-6.
0-6, right.
And I came from Denver. We were 6-0.
Right.
And that's another thing. Like we were 6-0 in Denver, and I got cut. And Coach McDaniels told me, he's like, "Hey, we're just going in a different direction." And so like when I was getting cut, and I'm cleaning out my locker. Guys are like, "Why are you getting cut?" I was like, "They said they're going in a different direction," and that rattled some guys, especially a lot of younger guys, because they were like, "Well, Brett's playing well. I don't understand why he gets cut." And they proceeded to go 2-8. And so to come here to be 0-6.
So they were 0-6 when the Titans picked you up. They were already 0-6.
Yeah.
So you got here right after 14, that 59-0 loss in New England.
Yeah, and
so
I'm coming off 6-0. Like, hey, let's go. And then I come here, I'm like, oh boy, little different vibes.
59-0 in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you missed that, thankfully.
Yeah, but they made some changes over the bye week. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that was the year that CJ went for 2,000. And there was, I don't know what it was like, obviously, being 0-6. Obviously, it couldn't have been great, but obviously they made a concerted effort to give CJ the ball any way possible in as many ways possible. Obviously, and he had a great season. 2000, I think it was almost till Christmas.
Yeah.
I think we lost to the Chargers on Christmas night to eliminate our playoff hopes, but went 8-8. So
VY back in and helping lead that comeback.
That's right.
So you were part of that, and then obviously you were a part of a 2-4 start, the last shutout loss in Denver against your former team, and then you guys turned it around with Ryan Tannehill coming in, obviously end up in the AFC Championship. Mm-hmm. Apart from having the quarterback in the back pocket, Vince Young in 2009, Ryan Tannehill in 2019, obviously the Titans don't have that in this situation. Apart from that, what was a common thread between that 2009 team and that 2019 team that turned around those early misfortunes in your mind?
I think it was just a belief knowing that the talent and ability was on the team. I mean, like, obviously you had Derek, and the O-line, was very established. I was with Ben and Taylor and, guys that we knew we had, KB in the secondary, and, we had a team. Like, it was a good team. And I think even in 2009, like, it was a good team. Obviously, just things weren't clicking the first, 6 games in 2009. And then obviously up to that Denver game, things just weren't meshing. And so, but there was a belief in the locker room that the talent and ability was there. And once you won that first one, I remember when we won, I think it was Jacksonville was my first, or maybe it was at San Francisco. We went out there and won in 2009, and then we came back and beat Jacksonville and smoked them. And the same thing, when 2019, we came back and won our first game with 10. It's just like, it created like, okay, yeah, this is what we are. We are a good team. Now we just need to play better, tighten some things up. No pun intended, but it's the belief was there, and I think for this team, I just don't see it. I don't.
It's non-existent.
It's not. Yeah, and I think too, knowing when you're going up against an inferior roster, like you have to play about near perfect game, and so like for Joey Slye to miss 2 kicks, it just. Whether it's mismanagement, coaching stuff, the penalties, the sacks, all that stuff is just just digging yourself in the hole, and this team's just not good enough to overcome it.
Well, and I want to play some Brian Callahan audio for you in the next segment, specific to like the way that they're handling end of half situations and playing for field goals as opposed to being more aggressive in those moments. But let's stick with Joey Slye since you mentioned it. He started the season 8 for 8. He's been their most reliable player, our most consistent player, arguably, to this point. He has since gone 2 for 6, but 2 of those, he missed both kicks yesterday. in Houston, and those should be makeable kicks.
In Houston, I mean, the roof was closed, right?
He was very accountable about it after the fact. He talked about why both of them have been wide right. He kind of compared it to a golfer and some things that he's having to adjust to make up for. But the thing that stands out to me, Brett, is the position that they were putting Joey Sly in the Colts game, where they're asking him to do ungodly things from 62 and 64. Right. And I don't know that that's going to get into a kicker's head. Like, he understands he's been doing this long enough, it's routine. But all of a sudden now he's missing chip shots, for lack of a better term. And I wonder if there's not something to the situations that they have put him in and how much pressure has been on him to the point where you get into Houston, you feel like those things should be gimmies, and all of a sudden he's missing those opportunities.
Yeah, it's tough. I remember going through it with Ryan Suckup. There was a time, I want to say it was 18, maybe 17, 18, where every field goal, and we charted all of his field goals, and there was a streak where he had like 13 or 14 field goals in a row between 40 and like 48 yards. And they were like, difficult field goals.
Oh,
right?
Doesn't he still hold the record for the most field goals inside of 50?
I think Nick Folk, of all people, might have gotten that. But I know that that was I remember celebrating it. I mean, it was a heck of an accomplishment, and still is. But there was a streak, and I just remember talking to him about, man, if I could just, when you're being trotted out there, and your first attempt is that deep, it's a lot. And so I remember Ryan and I just talked. He's like, man, if I could just go out there and just start the game with a 35-yarder or, an extra point, something to just kind of get me going instead of you're going out there for, 50-yarder, 48, 57, I think against the Colts. His first field was 57-yard. Like, that's tough. And so... it's a tough situation that he's been put in. A lot of long field goals, nothing short. But he's obviously got the leg for it. And I even think yesterday, I think there was a 3rd and 12 on the plus 45, and they just run like a little, up the middle.
That's what led to the second miss, I believe. 3rd and 12.
The 3rd and 12.
No, they did it. They ended up punting it.
Lost my mind.
They ended up punting of something different.
Yeah, they ended up punting it with Hecker, and it was after the 54-yard miss, and so it's like, do you trot him out for a 60-yarder or 60? At that point, it would have been 62. I'm like, 3rd and 12. Why can't you just try pass play for 5, 6, 7, 8 yards, right? And then make it probably a plus 40-yard field goal, which I feel like...
That's right. It was at the Houston 45.
Yeah. And it was just a very conservative play call, especially then to go out and punt. I think you would have loved for them to try to take a shot. But, it's... I'm glad Joey obviously owned up to it, but it's something that he's going to... I'm telling you, when you're kicking down in Houston, that place is a great place to kick and punt a football. And I know he'd love to have those two back.
Arizona and Vegas next, so still favorable.
Other very nice places to play.
I've not done Vegas yet.
Neither have I. It's the only stadium I haven't played in.
Because it's new.
Yeah.
So you played in Oakland.
I'm old. Oh, I played in Oakland, all right.
Dirt field.
I played on the dirt field, and the smoke is flying, and I'm not from a barbecue, so it is. Fans throwing stuff at you.
Yeah. I remember the last time we were in Oakland, it was, I think the last year, it was 19.
Yeah, it was 19.
19 or 18.
One of the coolest Tannehill, A.J. Brown
huge game.
Pitch and catch moments that I can remember, where Tannehill just gets drilled in the chest and rips one.
Gosh, Cedric Gray had a hit on Stroud yesterday, right under the rib, right on that rib pad.
Knocked the wind out of him.
He had played a great game. Did he have 17 tackles yesterday?
Yes.
On that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he racked him up.
Seeing how he's playing, and then Pollard, he finally got his first explosive run of the season, over 20 yards. He just runs so hard. You feel for him. But there's still some guys out there that are making plays and doing the right things. But obviously, you need a lot more of it by everybody.
Well,
stating the obvious.
Let's start with the coaches, because we could use a lot more for them. We'll hear from Brian Callahan and take your phone calls coming up next. Brett Kern is in studio. Always appreciate Brett spending some time. We're going to hear from Brian Callahan here in just a second. 615-737-1045 is how you chime in. Brian Callahan is going to speak today. He is not fired. He has a press conference at 1:30 today. So despite his...
hey, at least it's at 1:30. You don't have to wait for it at 12:30.
Oh, for him to be late anyway?
Yeah.
So what am I thinking, 1:45, 2 o'clock?
Positive Monday.
Quick news. Ian Rappaport is saying that the Titans are expected to open Tyjae Spears' practice window. After missing the first 4 weeks with that ankle injury, the high ankle sprain, he is obviously eligible to return to the lineup this week off IR.
If you're Tyjae, you're looking around me like, I'm good.
Still sore.
No, come in with a walking boot the rest of the week. I don't know, guys. It's just not quite for me.
Running back depth, not there, too. Khalil Molling's now on IR.
Yeah.
And it's right now, it's just Tony and Chestnut. They had to elevate Jordan Mims yesterday.
Yeah.
Tajay might not have a choice.
No.
You're suiting up, buddy.
Yeah, unfortunate for Tajay. Paul is in Nashville.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
I just want to give a shout out to all the fellas. But I am calling because I have started a Venmo. It's at Fire Brian Callahan on Venmo to raise money for his buyout. If I raise enough, I will even offer to buy out Amy Adams Strunk. I'm sick of it. I know everybody else is sick of it. So tighten up, baby.
All right. Very good by Paul.
Shout out all the fellas.
Yeah,
the fellas.
I think
all the fellas.
Is that us, or does he mean generally? Like all...
Nah, it definitely wasn't for us.
Okay.
To the fellas.
To the fellas.
You know who you are.
So for the boys is out, to the fellas is in.
To the fellas. It's like a vast ye, like, to the fellas.
It's like a crappy wedding DJ. Where my fellas at? Raise the roof.
Yeah.
Except it's just the one.
Hey, Cameron.
Yeah, there's that too. I don't know what. Well, so Brian Callahan is a 5-year deal, and this is the other part of it that goes a bit unspoken or doesn't get talked about enough. This is not a cash flush organization, like cash on hand. She has bought out coaches. She has bought out general managers. She has Brian Callahan, who is not yet 2 years into a 5-year deal. I don't know what the figures are on Brian Callahan. That's not public information, but I know he's got a 5-year contract. So at a certain point where you've got stadium construction and coaches who are still, I mean, Vrabel, I guess, is off the books. John Robinson is still being paid by this organization as far as I know. And Ray Carthon is most certainly being paid by this organization.
A lot of cash.
Bill Callahan, by the way, does dad go too? Do you have to buy out the dad if you fire the son?
A lot of them have, I think, 2-year contracts, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, and we're not through
They don't.
2 years here yet. And I'm sure Bill has a longer-term deal than your average. I'm sure Bill has a more expensive contract than your average offensive line coach.
That's true. Bones is probably a 20-year deal.
Yeah, he should be. Yes, he should be. He's the only saving grace right now. Yeah, I don't know how much the finances of this also impact her decision to not fire anybody yet. Like if she's just waiting out a buyout.
I mean, I'll say I think Brian's deal is probably less APY just because he's a first-year head coach compared to, Vrabel's, second deal. Obviously, a lot of the guys, compared to a Harbaugh or a Mike Tomlin, those guys that have been around for a long time, what they're getting, APY. But I'm sure it's still a lot of money. That's a lot of money to be dishing out for somebody that's not on the sidelines on Sundays.
Tough scene. So let's hear from the aforementioned currently employed head coach of the Tennessee Titans, Brian Callahan. This was his introductory statement at the podium yesterday and some follow-ups about the lack of aggression.
Obviously disappointed in the result of that game. Didn't really do anything well enough over the course of the game. When you miss 2 field goals and you're in a potential 6-6 ball game, we weren't. It was 6-0, then it was 12-0. Couldn't get much momentum on offense, couldn't possess the ball. Put our defense in some tough spots down the stretch, and then didn't answer it in those spots either. So all the way around, not good enough.
You got chance to take an end zone shot before Sly's second field goal. You're near midfield, and you 3rd and 12, and you hand off to Chestnut. Are you going to win games playing that conservatively? Why not take some shots to the end zone in that situation?
Yeah, we hadn't really completed much down the field at that point. And it was a 3rd and 12, and the pass rush is ripping, and we're 30-some yards from the end zone. Those aren't really high percentage style throws or plays. So that's usually what the reasoning is. You get those. We didn't earn a right to take a shot to the end zone. It was 3rd and 12, and so you try to be smart and not put the quarterback in harm's way, and kick field goal.
Not a high percentage shot for the end zone at 3rd and 12. How about a shot for a first down on 3rd?
Yeah, that is what it is. I mean, those are the calls we make. So.
Do you feel that this is an accurate reflection of the way that the team continues to come up short of you guys as a coaching staff?
I mean, I think it's a reflection of all of us not doing anything well enough at this point. That's players, that's coaches, that's everybody. I mean, we haven't found a way to win a game in a while, and I think that reflects on all of us.
Woof. I will say, honestly, the 3rd and 12, so you pointed out the 3rd and 12 in the second half when they're on the Houston 45 and they run it to punt. I didn't have as much of an issue with the 3rd and 12 that led to Sly's second field goal attempt because you're well within his range, even though he's already missed one.
That was what, 43?
40. That one was from, no, he missed a 41 and a 43. I believe that one was from 43.
Yes, okay.
So at that point, it's a 6-0 ball game. You're just trying to get on the board 6-3 going into the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And to his point, Houston pass rush, 3rd and long. You've gotten into some bad spots this season trying to rip it down the field in those scenarios. So I didn't even have as much of a problem with that. But the one you cited where it's 3rd and 12 in plus territory and you're handing off there, then you're basically punting on 3rd down.
Correct.
Right? Like that's a different scenario.
Even 3rd and 12 and you just run all slants. Like, okay, if you don't get the first down, at least give Joey – a 41-yarder, you're a 43-yarder compared to a maybe 37, 38.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I was talking about, like even, earlier with Ryan Suckup. It's just like, man, we can't, like these long field goals, over a while, they take a toll on you. Because obviously the further you go back, the more perfect you have to be. You can get away with, like the old extra point, right? You're kicking from the 10. Yeah. That's a 20-yard field goal. I've seen some pretty trashy extra point kicks, but it's so close you can get away with it. But obviously as you get further and further back and, you start hitting a 57-yarder, 62-yarder, 60-yarder, the room for error, between Morgan's snap and Johnny's hold, especially you throw in some wind here and there. Obviously Houston was a great place to kick. There was no wind or anything like that. Sometimes the air conditioning units can get a little out of control, blowing from the north at 2 miles an hour. But
I'm just imagining Brett on the sideline, like licking his finger and putting it in the air.
He's making a joke, but you're a freak that way. I know that you would try and figure something like that out. I've seen your weather charting.
I will say the north end zone. That's where the AC units are. It can get a little brisk.
Awesome. I bet you know where the AC units are in every damn indoor stadium in this league.
That's crazy.
Callahan said, too, didn't even really get to possess the ball. 38 minutes of possession for the Texans. It's a big difference. Big difference.
The rest of this and how it goes, where they can stand to improve and things like that, so much of it is going to be about how they support the quarterback, and the quarterback was obviously in a situation where he felt pressed, and you saw a lot of this stuff break down. So we'll see what Brian Callahan has to say theoretically in an hour from now. Zach and Blaine will carry that press conference in the interim.
I will say this is a tough spot. I mean, obviously they're 0-4. I get that. But after the Brownlee trade, obviously you're sending a message of draft, develop, all that kind of stuff. And then retain, then you trade. Callie's got to go out and do the press conference, not management. That can create a not good environment in your locker room. I've been through it before where then it becomes every man for themselves. And so trying to have that team bonding, that team unity, it goes out the door. And you have a look in the mirror with yourself and you say, okay, if this is how they're going to operate some things and make decisions, like I'm going to do what's best for myself. And that's the last thing you want, because then it gets out of control real quick. Because you have some guys that don't know how to do that. They don't understand the severity of like The NFL is, like we said, it's not for long. Like if you do not come every Sunday and you're not putting on great game film, you are going to get cut, and you will have a very hard time finding another job. And so this is a big, Arizona next week. It's huge.
Their only saving grace that way is that there's a lot of young guys in the locker room that still have that kind of collegiate mentality.
But the collegiate mentality is like, there's almost like no discipline, because it's now you can just transfer whenever you want to. So if you're getting coached a certain way and you don't like it, I'm out. There's no perseverance. There's no you can't coach discipline. You can't. But if you don't want to be a disciplined player, you're not going to be one. And so college, like some of these guys might be like, oh, well, man, this ain't going well. I don't know what their college experiences were, but it's a very dangerous place, because there's no, like in college, there's no, hey, I'm here, I'm going to be here for 4 years. I'm going to learn whether you do change coaches or you don't. I'm going to learn under this coordinator for, 3 years of it. It's totally changed. And now you can do whatever you want. And so how does that spill over into the Titans locker room? And is there enough guys like Jeff Simmons that are like, guys, like, look, we gotta, like, this is pride. This is our pride. This is for us. This is for our city. And have that conversation, like a players only meeting, and like a serious talk with these guys, young players too, of like, you're representing yourself. You're representing the name on the back of your shirt. You're representing the name on the front of your shirt. Like this has to be a player-led come together as a team, because like I said, you don't want to be a part of that conversation of being like, hey, well, we got 0-17 coming down the pipe. That's you do not want that.
Lucas, that's the oldest that I've ever felt, because he's so right. My mindset is outdated, because I think of college players who care about playing for the logo and come in with a mentality that's different than the NFL, where it's, so much more mercenary in the NFL than it is in college, where now it's the inverse.
Yeah, and I'm almost cautious in bringing this up, because I don't want to insinuate that anybody in this draft class is
100%
has that mentality,
correct.
Right? Like, because Cam Ward transferred doesn't mean that Cam Ward is the guy that bails, right? I mean, he went from Incarnate Word to Washington State to Miami, but that's just the general state of things, right? Cam, Femi, Marcus Harris, Chimere Dike, like the bulk of this draft class transferred, some multiple spots. Marcus Harris played for, I think, 3 programs.
Right. And
So-
they all have different reasons why.
Absolutely,
like Cam Ward, you're thinking, hey, man, he just keeps getting better and better. And for him to be able to excel while going to new places, new coordinators, and getting better and better, that's a testament to him and who he is, right? I'm not saying all the guys on the Titans are like that, because I don't think they would draft guys that are like that. But it's one of those things where, what are the reasons why they transferred? I don't know. It could be coach. I mean, what do you do when you're at Arkansas and you just get your coach fired?
Yeah.
Right? It's
Windows open.
You just leave.
Windows open.
Yeah, that's what you
just
do.
leave.
Yeah.
And guys, just you can't, even if you transfer for a good reason, in college, like you can't do that now. And so the mentality is like, well, we just got to get through this year, and then we'll see what happens next year. Like you might not have a job. It's so.
615-737-1045 is the number. Cole is in White Bluff.
Hey, what's going on, Buck?
Not much.
I just want to talk about how, look, if we're going to be terrible, we might as well be exciting, and giving it to Joey Chestnut on 3rd and 12 and having him just bang up against a wall of meat is absolutely not exciting at all. Try something. Don't just roll over and die. I'll hang up and listen to what you have to say.
It would be hilarious if Joey Chestnut was in the backfield for the Titans, as he is alleging, as opposed to Julius Chestnut.
It happens to the best of us, buddy. I probably did that 45 times in training camp.
Listen, I've been calling Tajay Spears Tajay Sharp for 3 years. So.
Tajay Sharp. That's taking me back.
Titans legend.
You guys just want to say names for the rest of the show? You feel
God,
like that
that'd
would
be
make
so
us
much
better?
better than talking about this miserable football team. Just throwback Titans legend names.
Oh, I wasn't even going to say that. I was just going to say throwback. You guys remember Beanie Wells at Ohio State?
Yes.
Yeah, he was awesome. He only played like 3 years
That's how
in the
you have
league.
to end it, right? There's no question to the group. It's just, man, he was good.
Happy birthday, by the way, to Chris Hope, Titans
See
legend.
Hope.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You going to wish him a happy birthday back there or no?
Oh, I guess. I didn't know who that was. That was
Rude?
it's a rare one I didn't know.
Rude.
Give me some history. Happy birthday, Hope.
Titans legend, former Steeler as well.
Oh, I don't care.
Don't trample
I'm done then.
The safety.
Anyway, to the point about being exciting, that's the thing that struck me yesterday, Brett, because I've watched many terrible football games in my career covering this franchise. I was going to say something nasty, but I won't. That might have been, it's at least top 3 worst football games that I have watched and covered. But the thing that stands out to me is just how less entertaining that they are. And I know the point is not to be entertaining. The point is to win games. But the fact that they have regressed in terms, like they are a worse football team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's crazy given the Will Levis circumstance. And that's not to, throw additional dirt on Will's name, but like, at least with Will, I'm along for the roller coaster ride, and there are some highs to go with the lows. I don't even have the highs anymore.
Where were the highs last year? I guess they won a couple games, but
I'm waiting for a win here, bud. There was at least some high flying acrobatics. There were at least shots down the field. Now this poor quarterback is just out here. I mean, the 33-yard pass yesterday is their longest completion of the year, but like even that is just that's the rarity. That's just enough to make me like pick my head up from the console that I'm napping on while I'm waiting for the halftime pig roast in the press box in Houston, which was delightful.
Will also ran the ball a little bit more last year. Cam I feel like he doesn't. I mean, he had one too. It was third and 8, third and 9, scramble for first down, keep a drive going.
Conversions.
I know he's not a big runner, but I'm like, dude, that might help out a little bit if you can at least try to escape the pocket, run for 5, 6, 7 yards, and just slide. He seems like he'd be a really good slider.
Say something nice about the soccer team before I let you go for the day.
Big game Wednesday.
Big game. Cup final at Austin.
Final.
Were y'all in the building Saturday?
No, but watched it. Saw that red card early, 9th minute by Eric Stokovic.
Sviatchenko.
There you go. Yeah, I know you would know it. I was close.
You were calling that game, yeah?
I was. It was a good time. Hani Mukhtar, Sam Surge on the score sheet. Good things happen.
I got a little nervous when Houston scored there. I think it was the 30th minute.
Yeah, they
down a man. Then they battled hard, but then obviously to come out in the second half and Sam and Nahar get the 2 goals. And I'd be curious to see where they finish. In the standings, they're kind of that tweener. Miami still has 2 games to play.
And that game on decision day, a couple weeks.
I know.
Should be fun. Big crowd in Geodis Park for that one. Last day of the regular season coming up.
I was in Houston, obviously, on Saturday night. I was at Nympha's, the great restaurant, apparently, that invented the fajita. Delightful. They would not change the soccer. It was Houston, obviously, that Nashville SC is playing, and they had it on every TV. And I said, maybe could we have one TV on Alabama, Georgia? No.
Houston's a soccer town.
What?
For sure.
I was stunned.
I'm assuming they had the home radio broadcast call option turned on Apple TV and blaring through the speakers of the restaurant.
Lucas Panzica's voice was being heard all through Nympha's as I was drinking my THC margaritas and trying to numb the pain of what I would experience on Sunday. But that's neither here nor there. Well, we have one phone call for you before you leave.
Is it about the Ryder Cup?
I don't know.
I almost pulled it off.
Hopefully not.
Pulled it off.
We're so close. Donna is in Dallas up next.
Hi, guys. Wanted to ask Brett and the rest of you guys, since CJ2K is not walking through that door and poor Cam is left with a very undesirable group of receivers who can't be depended upon and the stable of very average running back, what is a recipe to, like Brett said, turn it around? I mean, we're already on the Titanic. We've arranged those chairs enough. Just want to know at what point can they turn things around and get on a 7-game, 8-game winning streak? Just want to know what his thoughts are on that.
Thank you, Donna.
Uh-huh.
She in Dallas?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you could tell.
I thought she was going to talk about the 40-40 tie last night.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I was waiting until the end of the game because
it was awesome.
You're disgusting.
You
make me
how
sick.
do you, I still, like, it's what Dak said, like, how do you end games and ties in the NFL? I still don't understand, like.
Micah goes, I'm not going to lie, I'm pissed.
Oh, that gave me life, Brett. I wanted at the end of overtime. I was so happy that 1 second was left so that they could kick for a tie.
I don't know.
If we're being honest, there was no more appropriate result or ending to that game than a tie. I'm sorry, but it's true. Nobody wants to hear it. Neither team deserved to lose. It was an incredible game.
Although LaFleur did have a little end of, trying to do his thing. And it was an end at half.
Risky.
Led to a touchdown. Anyways.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
That was such a resigned, I'll see you Friday.
Hey, I'm ready for picks. I'm crushing it in college.
Yes, you are.
NFL, I am awful.
The NFL just generally right now feels awful.
It's hard.
Maybe it's
just
because
parody for the most part.
The local team sucks. Brett Kern on Mondays and Fridays. We are grateful for his service.
Love you, buddy.
Love you too.
No.
That felt like a pity win, but I don't care.
Last call for phone calls. It absolutely was. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Let's face it, buying a vehicle should be straightforward and stress-free, and that's exactly how Two Rivers Ford has been doing business for decades. This locally owned dealership has a non-commissioned sales team whose only focus is to find you the right vehicle at the right price without the pressure. So you'll actually have a fun car buying experience. Great prices, easy financing, and a non-commissioned sales team. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Yes.
He just wants to see that thing, Lucas. It's him in the chat.
No, we are not. Do not give it away for free. Do not give it away for free. It's like everybody giving away the feet pics for free. We're not doing that. If they want to see Lucas's Tookuses, they need to get us to 120 likes, and then he will do a spin.
What's the email? HR@cumulus.com?
No, that one's defunct now. I think it is h.r@cumulus. Try that one.
You're lying. You just don't want me to. You don't want me to get in touch with HR.
I don't think that HR could be further removed from our show at this point in time. If HR was a thing, we would have been canceled long ago. I mean, we have spent basically a year objectifying you because we have no more football to talk about. So instead, we've just talked about cheeks, but not just the cheeks on the field.
I mean, the amount of tutorials and modules that we go through to avoid this type of discourse.
I just seem to end.
The comments were incredible. Yeah. If you fast forwarded it, it's like you're not allowed to do that. You don't have to actually listen to the whole thing.
Now, we have been talking about Zonely fans for quite some time.
Oh, hell no. Here comes BBL Lucas. The comments are just...
The FNM Big Chat's trying to force that upon me.
It's like that BBL Drizzy AI song.
It would just be me on there.
Shaking that thing. It wouldn't have,
fully clothed, too.
It wouldn't even have to be doing. Honestly, it's more impressive with clothes on because the way that your pants are just straining to keep that thing in there.
I need a tailor.
It's like...
I can give you mine.
It's like two balloons under a bed sheet, dude. Like there's just not. It's trying to float.
It really does look like it's fake.
It doesn't look real.
It looked like he's got like a Halloween costume, like fake ass on.
Every day, it is so hard for me when we're walking outside, whether to smoke a cigarette, not to just
grab one,
just like lay a little fingerprint down.
God,
I won't do it though.
I would so much rather talk about this than football.
Whatever happened to Lainey Wilson? That's what you need to get on, Lucas.
Ozempic?
You get on Ozempic, and this won't happen to you anymore.
Allegedly,
it's a blessing and a curse.
Reckless speculation by me. No, I'm sure if you ever have to fly Spirit Airlines, I'm sure it's much more comfortable for you than it is the rest of us.
There are benefits.
Did that one time on the way out to Vegas, never again. Matthew is in Franklin.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
We're
want to
great.
share a quick Sunday story. My wife was vacuuming the house Sunday after the game, and her vacuum quit working. She said, "What will we do?" I went and grabbed a Titan sticker, slapped it on the side. That thing has been sucking like nobody's business. Have a great day.
Where'd you say you got that sticker at? No particular reason.
I love that people are just waiting patiently on the phone lines to just basically, metaphorically kick this franchise in the nuts for how badly they have let everybody down. And it's not even a letdown because we knew they were going to be bad this year. But I am disappointed in the Houston Texans because the Houston Texans were supposed to be a good football team. I'm not disappointed in the Titans because I knew the Titans were going to be bad, but I did not think that they would find ways to be new bad. This is new bad. Anyway. Look at Robert back there vigorously searching for where to find a Titan sticker so he can go slap one on Cheyenne's forehead.
That was the joke.
Yes, I know it was the joke. Yes, I know. Play the poll so I can go to this press conference and listen to this coach try to tell me how he's not going to lose again. Oh, 121. 121.
Oh, come on.
Show that ass.
The amount of time.
Show that ass.
We have dangled a carrot.
Stand up
for the F&M Bank Chat.
Fade down. This is more important than the polls. If the polls were presented by anybody, they'd be presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. You have one more day to go get a non-perishable food item and deliver it to Two Rivers Ford, 76 Belinda Parkway, and help them fill a Ford with non-perishable items to help feed the less fortunate. Stand up, show people them cheeks right now. 120 likes, 120 plus likes on the YouTube channel. Give him a show.
We have done this so many times and we never hit the mark.
124.
This is the first time we've ever actually gotten the likes. How is this
124.
All right, all Robert said was that I would do a spin.
Play Cam Ward. Play Cam Ward to the tune of Big Sean. Lucas, stand up. Give him a show. Stand up.
I'm not going to stand up.
Stand up. Stand up. Look at it. This is
going to be better.
This is worse. You're bent over. He's spinning. Oh, look at him. My God, that's glorious.
Jesus Christ.
He shut down the camera with how much ass he just threw.
Just a spin in the spinny chair.
Threw that thing in a circle, by God.
Just did a little twirl in the spinny chair.
In the white shorts, too. That's insane. We can't do any better than that. I think you know what? Football season is going to be fun come hell or high water because we're just going to make it. They are a big enough joke that we're just going to spend the rest of the football season joking about it. So we appreciate you all soldiering through with us. We appreciate Ben Jones and Brett Kern and all of you who called us today. If you missed any of it, podcast it. Primetime tonight at 6 rather.
5:30.
Shut up.